Does that sound fine?
What's the boogeyman?
Welcome back to the Moonjuice Metal Horror Podcast where we live and breathe heavy metal and horror, but are not afraid to shit on both of them. I'm Matt.
I'm Mike. So we're back today.
Yes, we're back today. Some of you may notice, and we don't really know yet, but some of you may notice that this episode is coming about a day late.
2 days late, actually.
Yeah, well, is it 2? Yeah, 2 days late, right.
It's coming out on Wednesday and usually on Monday, yeah.
Yeah. So you can blame me for that. I've been hitting the head way too many times, and I forget about international time zones when I'm traveling. So Mike texted me yesterday at the time when we were supposed to start recording and was like, "You gonna make it?" I'm like, "Why is this dude asking me if I'm gonna make it an hour before we're supposed to start?" So I walked around the camping wagon and started getting stuff together and was taking my time, and then I came back and set everything up and opened it up, and there's Mike with a really angry face. I'm like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "Well,
Yeah,
I've only been waiting for you for an hour." So I was like, "Well, shit. Okay, my bad, dude. I am a little bit stupid when I travel about time. But it's my fault, guys. You can blame me."
Yeah, but it's cool. We at least so far up to, I would say 95% managed to keep our upload schedule consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some things you can't help, like when your partner's an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I'm in a town called Wigglesworth, right? So this is about an hour and a half south of the Scottish border. And I just think when you have worth at the end of a word, it usually means that the first word is what the worth of the word is. So this town is worth a wiggle.
Okay.
Stupid. Yeah, it's just funny because that's actually a British term for getting drunk, is getting wiggly.
Yeah.
So this town is worth a wiggle. Anyway, so I'm going to continue to do this as I travel through Scotland, and we'll put out an episode for 2 weeks while I'm traveling. But I think it'll work out as long as the place that I end up has internet. This week, me and Mike are doing a movie that we knew was going to come along eventually, and we're kind of looking forward to it because it is the official sequel to one of the movies that he and I hold near and dear. And because of this episode, again, I'm going to have to call this the Moonjuice Werewolf Podcast, right? Because we do more werewolf movies than we do anything else. This one is an official sequel to a movie that came out in the 80s that is a staple in the werewolf genre. And I remember when this movie came out, I was in high school, I think. And I remember I loved the first one, and I was like, okay, this is going to be awesome. And it's not that it's not awesome. It is. It's a good film. It's a really good film. But as far as being on par with the first one, I think we could probably both agree it's not, right?
What do you mean being on par with the first one? In quality?
Not necessarily quality, like overall story, quality, acting, everything. Is it on the same level as the first movie? What do you say?
Well, that's difficult.
I thought this would be an easy answer from you.
On par with the first movie.
Well, when I say that, for you personally, so the first movie is obviously a movie that you love. There's a lot of nostalgia for it. It's one of your favorite werewolf movies, right? Yeah. Would you say that this one does the same thing for you that the first one does?
No. That's what you meant. That's what you meant. Okay, I was thinking of something else. No, definitely not. I mean, the first part is, in my opinion, still one of the best werewolf movies ever made. And I actually watched this one first, and then I watched the original one. And I loved this movie too when I saw it. Yeah. Even though
there's nothing to really hate about it.
Yeah, well, there is a lot that we're probably going to get. There is definitely a few things that you can complain about it, and we're definitely going to get into.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as hating it, there's no reason to hate this movie.
I mean, the acting is fine, the story is fine, the way everything's filmed is fine. What I liked about this movie more than the original one, it had more comedy
Yeah.
aspect to it. What I loved about this one,
Yeah.
it was
Yes, that it
awesome.
does.
Yeah, that made this one great. But things that I would say were definitely in no way lives up to the original one is clearly the werewolf design and the bad CGI werewolves. I've seen worse. I've seen worse. Have you seen the movie
You
Dark
mean
Wolf?
worse werewolves or worse CGI?
Worse, both. Worse CGI werewolves in a werewolf movie. Have you
Okay.
have you seen the movie Dark Wolf?
Yes, and that is not an old movie.
No. This came out after American Werewolf in Paris, and
Yeah.
that movie was so awful, dude.
That might be why I don't remember it.
Yeah,
That might be why I don't remember it.
it was bad. And the other one, I would consider that to be one of the worst werewolf movies ever made. And beyond that is Mexican Werewolf.
Not seen that one.
It's bad. Don't watch it. It's bad.
Okay.
It's bad.
Okay. All right. This one, I don't know. Like, so as I was watching it, and keep in mind, I've probably seen this thing at least 4 times. This probably being the 4th time. I remember seeing it in the theater. I remember seeing it after it came out later, and then a few more times, and now this time. I don't ever remember the CGI being so bad that it took me out of it. But keep in mind, the last time that I saw this before this time was probably 10 years ago. So
yeah, it was
now
for me,
I watch it and I can't help but be taken out of it. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
this is so bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was also. I think also what I think was a reason is back in the day when this movie came out, a lot of studios were still figuring CGI out, and compare it to other CGI in horror movies at the time, this still is better than a lot of other CGI things, but it doesn't make it good.
No.
No,
Of
but
course, it also depends on the studio you use because you have to remember this movie, I think, came out at the same time Starship Troopers did, the original one.
Yeah.
And the CGI for Starship Troopers still holds up today. That's how good that CGI
Yeah.
is. So it depends on the studio you were using too, who was better and who was not. These guys
Yeah.
obviously went with kind of the cheaper studio, you know?
Yeah, I still just think they should have went more in with practical effects because you can see in one of the first scenes, the club scene, a lot of the werewolves you see in that scene are not CGI.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
wolves
that's
too.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you notice
And
it immediately too.
yeah, not all the time. In a few other scenes you can see a CGI werewolf, but it
Yeah.
didn't look that bad in that scene specifically.
Right.
So I think they should definitely have went into more of the practical effects and suits because if you look at these werewolves, if they stand up on 2 feet, you could have done this werewolf in a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I looked up.
Absolutely.
They also had props and a kind of a werewolf mannequin. You can find pictures of it online. This could have been done easily. And I just think the movie would have probably came across better if they would have done that.
Yeah.
And also, I think that the fact that this movie leans so much into the horror comedy, it leans way more into comedy than the first one did. The first one had a lot
Yes.
of that as well, a lot,
Yeah.
but it was not like actual. Not that they were really trying to make jokes. It
Yeah.
was just a natural humor that just
Right.
fell into place organically
Right.
in the first movie.
Right.
Yeah. And
But this
also,
movie totally leans into that. It's
yeah,
it's very much a horror comedy, I would
yeah,
say.
it's a horror comedy, definitely. And
Yeah.
one of the main reasons why, in my opinion, this does not live up that much as the sequel to the original one is simply because the werewolf does not really have hallucinations or bad dreams or these dream sequences as the guy did in the first one. That's, in my opinion, what takes away from the vibe. You have like one scene where this happens, but it's like, I mean, this dude
It
is like,
happens so quick that you don't really. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
but yeah, it happens so quick, and it's like it could have been a little bit more stressful. But
Yeah.
no, what happens to this guy is he dreams about the chick he has a crush on sitting naked on top of him. Like,
Right.
what a nightmare!
Yeah. You're right. Because compared to the first movie, I don't even think the guy's like delusions or dreams or whatever it was were even about werewolves. Like there were some things that happened in his delusions that were just like insanity. Like his whole
No, no,
family
well,
sitting at home
I
on the
mean,
couch and a group of like Nazis. Can I say no? No, I can't say no. A
no,
group of like German soldiers comes in with masks on and slaughters his whole family by
but Matt,
machine gun fire.
those were werewolf masks they were wearing.
I didn't notice.
Yes,
Okay.
those were German werewolf soldiers. You could
Okay.
see in their faces that they were werewolves. And then the other dream sequence he had was he was running through the woods and attacked a deer.
Yep.
So all of his night dreams were very clearly linked to werewolves.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done it differently in this movie. You can see how he gets more animalistic and more
Yeah.
of the werewolf. The nearer his transformation comes, the nearer he gets to turning, and that's also something. Well, I would say interesting is how it expands the lore. It explains more to it. You see more insight into the werewolves themselves.
Yep.
Like after if they stay werewolves for a while, that their entire physiology change, their behavior changes. They have urges clearly caused by the werewolf, and I like that aspect to it. Generally, I like this movie, and even after all of its flaws, the bad effects in this movie, I still would consider it one of my top 10 werewolves.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that. It's definitely not bad. I mean, if you look at the werewolf movies that are out, I mean, I've got my top 5. This one is pretty close to being 6. I would say for me, this would probably be number 6. And the only reason I even rank it that low is just because there's a few things that we'll get into. One that we haven't really brought up is the werewolf design. That bugs me more than anything. Like, okay, right, the CGI, I can look past it because, just the references of the time, right? Historical context. People were using CGI. They wanted to do it. It wasn't good, but it wasn't so bad it took you out of the film. The werewolf design, however, Mike,
Yes.
this is the worst fucking werewolf design I have ever seen.
Absolutely.
Personally.
Well, it is bad because
It's
I
bad.
said this before we recorded, and I'm probably going to have a reference to what I'm going to say now.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the
Yeah, I'm
thumbnail.
going to put it up on the screen. Here, check it out.
Yeah.
Check this fucking thing out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Is that a
because
werewolf?
Yeah. Is that a werewolf? That is a mountain lion that was possessed by Satan.
Or a werecat.
Werecat.
A were
They are. I mean,
a were
these aren't-
mixed dog cat.
Yeah.
Werecat.
They don't look like werewolves. They look like cats. And I watched this movie the first time with my dad and my sister.
Yeah.
And my dad, he's not really a big horror fan or fantasy stuff or whatever.
Right.
But he was like, hey, why do these werewolves look like cats?
Even your dad said it.
Yeah. And it was like,
It's
yeah.
true. It's true. And how did that make it past designs? How did nobody else say that?
I don't know that is something might have to look up, but it's just like the thing is why I would make this movie low is simply I would say for me it's a small factor, but it is a small factor that means a lot because
Yeah.
in a werewolf movie the major things are the werewolf design and the initial transformation scene.
Yep.
Not
Yep.
every movie has to necessarily do that. I mean, look at Underworld, for example. The
Yeah.
first one, at least. I mean, everybody agrees that movie's good. Okay, I like the first 3, but you can argue if those were good. But the first movie, at least, I thought is a great movie. It's both a vampire and a werewolf movie.
Yes.
And there is no initial transformation scene in it. You see transformation scenes. But in Underworld, the werewolves more or less morph into the werewolf.
Yeah.
But you don't have, like, in that movie, a traditional initial transformation scene as you do in others. The one is where Michael starts to turn for the first time in the car, but you only see that partially because they give them this ensign that prevents them from transforming.
Right.
Either than that, you have just like the guys morphing into the werewolves. What they did brilliantly in Underworld is you could hear the
Yes.
bones cracking and that done. What made it look more, I would say, it felt like they were actually transforming.
Yeah.
But you can't get away with that. And Dog Soldiers
Yes.
also brilliant werewolf movie.
That is a werewolf movie that is a staple. Like, it's up there with everyone who says that they love werewolf movies, and there's not one transformation sequence in that movie. Not one.
Not one. Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, so the point is, I mean, there are a few things, and it's just like the design of the werewolves and the initial transformation scene. I would say you can leave away the initial transformation scene if done correctly. Dog Soldiers and Underworld are prime examples of that. But I think at least the werewolf design itself should at least look cool. And if that does not look good, it all kind of just a little bit, I just give it minus points to me.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about a creature feature, right? And if you're not nailing that with the creature feature, then you miss the point. Everybody wants to see the werewolf, and that's like a pivotal moment, like you said. This movie, you see one pretty quick, and even the initial look at the werewolf, like, at least make the first time you show it look cool. But they just don't. So there's no, like,
Well,
you know?
I wouldn't say that because how should I say it? The initial transformation scene that happens in this movie, even though done with CGI, I thought was good. It was clear to see.
Yeah, no, the
effect-
transformation
I mean-
is fine. It's just the look of the werewolf.
Yeah, because this is also something I did not understand, because in the initial transformation scene, once the werewolf is transformed, it looks like a gorilla.
Yeah, it does. It
Yeah.
looks like a gorilla.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes you think it's a movie about a weregorilla.
Yeah.
Like, if you
And
didn't
well,
get the title, that's what you would have thought.
Yeah. And after that, they all look like werecats. But yeah.
I don't know. Decisions were made here, and again, it's hard to fault a director and it's hard to fault the writer if the studio gets involved. Because if the studio got involved and said, "Hey, I realize that the original is and they might not have known this. We know how Hollywood is, or Disney. We'll talk about that in a minute. But if they wanted to do CGI, even if the director was like, "No, absolutely not," they had to do it because they're the people funding the movie. And so they did what they had to do. But this movie would have benefited from, one, not showing the creature so much, and two, doing practical effects.
Yeah.
It probably would have changed this from just another werewolf movie to an iconic werewolf film.
That's
really sad,
yeah.
because all
Yeah.
things considered, this movie's great.
It is. It is a great movie.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely. So now do we finally want to pull out what movie we're doing?
Yeah, I think we did pretty good that time, right?
Yeah, 20 minutes. 20 minutes we made it. And
It was pretty good. Okay, Mike, what movie are we doing?
American Werewolf in Paris, or as a lot of other people might know it, American Werewolf 2.
Yes.
Because
So it is a direct sequel, and this
Yeah.
is the thing that me and Mike were curious about, because when he was in Germany when he saw it, I was in the States, and for us it was American Werewolf in Paris, and that's what it was titled. But anyone who was a horror fan or even knew a little bit about werewolf movies knew immediately that this was part 2 to the first film. And I think that's what got everybody in the States to go see it.
that's also the reason why a lot of people, I think, definitely were disappointed. And if you consider, it depended on whatever region you were in. There were a lot of, I mean, they don't do that nowadays, but back in the days, a lot of movies had different titles in other countries, no? And in a lot of European countries, American Werewolf in London was known as American Werewolf. And this movie was titled American Werewolf 2. I remember
Mhm.
that because I rented this movie from the video store, or in Germany we call it videothek.
Yeah.
That was not around anymore. And I remember when I saw the movie on the videotape cassette, it said American Werewolf 2.
Yep.
And then when I watched the movie, you seen when the screen comes on, it had American Werewolf in Paris. So I'm not entirely sure what went wrong. Now everywhere, it's called, of course, American Werewolf in Paris. But everybody who maybe was confused, this is the official sequel to American.
Yes.
Even though there are multiple knockoffs with the American Werewolf there's like American Werewolf in England, American Werewolf in I don't know whatever land. There's like multiple knockoffs. It is the official sequel to American Werewolf in London. And because it is a sequel, that's why it was, in my opinion, why I think people judged it so harshly. Because American Werewolf,
and rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so. Because how should I say? I mean, back in the days before American Werewolf in London came out, like you could say like what's it called? The iconic and genre-defining movie was Wolfman. Because it was one of the first werewolf movies. And what a lot of people, I'm not sure if I mentioned this on other werewolf episodes, but the movie Wolfman, at least the original one, not the 2000 remakes, the ones, when was it done? In the 60s or 50s? I'm not sure.
I want to say 50s was the first one.
However, that movie actually is what established everything that we know a werewolf is today. Yeah, they transform by full moon. You can only kill them with silver bullets. You become one if you get bit by one. And that. All of the werewolf lore, everybody knows, was established through Wolfman. That's kind of funny because a lot of things we all know now, everything we know now about werewolves is entirely pop culture, dude. Entirely. Not because all old werewolf myths very rarely lean into these things. Okay, the full moon plays a role in certain werewolf legends, but there is no actual werewolf legend in which werewolves, for example, are vulnerable to silver, or where you become one if you get bit by one. I mean, I might be wrong here, but as far as I know, but I'm clearly not an expert on that.
Well, I mean, a lot of it comes from English folklore, like England, and they had issues with wolves taking people out on the moors and stuff, and then some of them came up with these wild tales of humanoid wolves taking people from the moors and stuff, and that's where most of it comes from. But you're right, there is nothing that says it has to be a silver bullet. There is nothing that says you have to do this to kill a werewolf. None of that stuff. It's
but that goes, dude. Legends of werewolves go way, 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 way further back, dude. No?
Oh yeah, I mean it's written in some of the pagan manuscripts we have. Right?
You have it back to Fenrir in the Norse mythology. You have King Lycan in Greek mythology. Dude, it goes back. Very, very.
And which makes you think a little bit. You know, like I don't necessarily believe in anything, but it makes you believe there might have been something behind it, but we'll never know what that is. You know. I think I brought it up on one of our last werewolf episodes. I think I brought it up on one of our last werewolf episodes where there was an incident here in Germany in the 80s too, but I'm not going to rehash all that again. But I mean, there's some modern stories too about werewolves, like that are, you know, real incidences and stuff. But even with all that stuff, like you said, the only thing that we know about werewolves and like the rules that go around with werewolves started with the original Wolfman, this movie, and The Howling. These are the ones that pushed werewolves into like severe pop culture.
Yeah, well, not really. I mean, American Werewolf in London. Same lore as an American Werewolf in London. And I'm not so sure if I would say like that werewolves were driven into pop culture through American Werewolf in London. It popularized it more for the modern day. But when it comes to horror stories or whatever, werewolves have been in stories, pop culture forever, dude. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, like not specifically that they weren't there. They were there, but as far as this 80s craze for werewolves, which
Yes,
is when all the werewolf movies came out, this one and The Howling started that. Like that got people to the theater, and movie companies realized that. So at that point in the 1980s, there started to be a slew of werewolf movies. And because of that, that's why I'm wondering why the lore from werewolves in this film and the previous one, its prequel, didn't stick, because the lore is different than most werewolf movies. Like in terms of what
In
can
terms
kill
of-
a werewolf, right? So for these movies, its prequel and this one doesn't have to be a silver bullet.
But
And
that's
then
also in other werewolf stories too.
before this one,
Before, maybe not
Yeah.
before, but after.
okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
the lore from this movie didn't really stick in the new films. Like the newer films that came after this one, like The Howling, they were like, okay, silver bullets kill it. We saw that in The Howling and Silver Bullet. And by the way, they only transform by full moon. That was, well, that's this movie too. Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
That came
Yeah,
from
but
this film too.
that came from that they only transform by full moon during full moon night. So you have like full moon is more than one night. That was also an American Werewolf in London, but it didn't come through American Werewolf in Paris. There are, for example, that werewolves specifically eat human hearts.
Yes, that is
That was-
brand new.
That has been done in a lot of other werewolf movies and shows and whatever, and that came from American Werewolf in Paris.
Yeah.
Or I think might have been done by other werewolf shows as well, but the first one I was aware of, where it specifically stated that werewolves eat human hearts, was American Werewolf in Paris.
Yep,
So you can
it's the
say
first time
American
I've
Werewolf
seen it.
and American Werewolf in London, Paris, and Paris is the sequel to London. So these both happen in the same universe. But
Yeah.
even though story-wise, for the most part, the basic plot points are identical to American Werewolf in London, the lore that happens in the same universe, it's never really explained how she became a werewolf. And that is in this movie, Seraphine.
Right.
One of the main protagonists of the
Yeah.
movie. You know, and so but we still have to get into the ritual of name butchering. But before we
Right.
and-
Damn it. You know what? We're gonna have to cheat on this one because I don't have anything to drink.
okay.
So
good.
you're not gonna get your shots this time around, unfortunately. But
Okay, but before we get into that, I mean, if you like our show and like our podcast, please don't forget to give us a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel to be always updated when we upload a new video. But please, only if you really like our podcast and you think we've earned your subscription. Good. Okay, then the cast of American Werewolf in Paris. We're going to get into it. Okay, now we have first Julie Delpy, who plays Seraphine Pigot, Vince Filouf, playing Brad, Tom Everett Scott, playing Andy McDermott, Julie
Okay.
Bowen, playing Amy Finch. This actress I've seen in multiple movies, but I cannot say which one. But I know this actress. I've seen her in a
which
lot of
one
movies.
is she?
She's Julie Bowen playing Amy Finch. That's the girl he eats on the cemetery.
Yeah. I've seen
Yeah.
her in a bunch of movies too, and I can't
Yeah.
remember one of them. Yeah.
Okay. Then we have Phil Buckman, who plays Chris. Ben Salem Muabdallah, who plays
Sure.
Detective Ben Bow. Tom Novembra plays Inspector DeLuc. Isabel Constantini plays Seraphine's mom. Then we have, oh God, there's so much actors here. We have Pierre Cosso playing Claude, and everybody after that is basically just
Yeah, it's
statistics.
just I got it.
Okay, well that was so much for the cast. Okay.
Good deal.
Well, the movie, starts out, it's like a rainy, stormy day. It shows this church in Paris. Did you see the title screen, American Werewolf in Paris?
Which was a mistake. This kills me, Mike. This is a
Yeah,
small
yeah.
gripe. This is a small gripe, but with horror movies, right? Start the movie off, do something crazy, like a crazy kill or something, right, to start the movie off, then flash the title card. I can't stand movies that roll into the movie, flash the title card, and then you have to wait for it to get going. I don't know what that is, but for me, it's more
Why didn't
effective
that
with a
bother?
horror movie. I don't know. It always does. It drives me crazy with horror movies.
Yeah, but why didn't it bother you with American Werewolf in London?
It bothered me then too. It bothers me with all of them that do this. Like,
Yeah.
lead me into the movie, do something terrible, and flash the title card. I
No,
love that. I love that effect. It's nitpicky, but god damn it. This movie would have done well with that. Like, when you see this opening initial attack and then they flash the card, that would have been so much cooler.
Yeah, dude. Okay, that's a minor thing. Okay, if you say
It
so,
is
it's something
minor.
I don't really care that much about. But okay, you didn't bring that up in the American Werewolf in London episode. But okay, whatever. No, fine.
Yeah, you're right. I just
that
miss
doesn't
bringing it up. It's always bugged me.
Yeah, that doesn't really bother me. No, for me, it doesn't have to start out with a shocker. I mean, it's okay, fine, but I had no issue with the opening. You see, like this guy come out of the gutter and is screaming and running from something.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know what at the moment. I mean, you can assume it's a werewolf because out of the movie.
The title card that you just saw, yeah.
However, he runs towards the taxi. Please, take me in, whatever. And the taxi driver gets out, looks at him like, "What the fuck is wrong, dude?" Nah. The taxi driver runs towards him, thinking that he needs help or whatever. But before the taxi driver can get to him, the gutter opens and the guy is pulled into the gutter by the werewolf. Nah. The guy freaks out and then just runs. Okay, then it.
This guy that got pulled into the gutter as well. He's wearing a white lab coat, which automatically kind of tips you off to the fact that he may be some type of scientist, and that's why when this movie opened up, initially I was like, okay, this is cool. They may be doing experiments on werewolves in this movie. You know what I mean? And that kind of like makes you think, okay, this is cool. They're experimenting on werewolves and they broke out, is what you think. And I thought that was cool.
Then it cuts back to the train. You have like these three Americans doing a Europe vacation tour. Yeah, these three friends talking about whatever, and you have like these two friends that have like this stupid match going on where they're called Daredevil points or whatever.
I fucking hate these guys.
They're doing weird shit, like I don't know, crazy shit or picking up girls and all of that. And
yeah, they've got like a point system going. They've got a point system to see who does the crazier Daredevil trick, who gets the girl in bed, that kind of thing.
I think it's ridiculous.
Typical Americans traveling Europe.
Even back, I mean, I knew a few guys like this when I was younger, and it was just like, dude, if you guys want to do that, just leave me the fuck alone with it.
Yeah, just leave me alone. Fucking idiots.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But if you act like that way, they're like, "Oh, what's wrong with you? Why don't you end up? Are you or stuff like that?" Yeah. And I'm like, "No, it's just sorry, but I have a brain compared to you, dumbass."
I was gonna say, I'm sorry, I'm intelligent. I can't get with this. Not only that, Mike, these are the guys that make the rest of us look really bad. Like Americans, right? Because they come here and they do dumb shit like jump from the Eiffel Tower.
For these two guys are like doing the thing, whatever. And you have like Andy, that is the main protagonist. He's sitting there, I think, reading something and not really caring that much about it because he's like, "Hey, dude," you can see on his face, he's like, "Okay, guys, do it, just leave me alone." And they have a short discussion on why he's not doing these crazy stunts like them because he's all so far behind and he hasn't picked up any girls or whatever. And he's just like, "Yeah, well, I'm just picky and blah blah blah." I mean, he's just a normal dude, not a brain dead moron like the other guys. But even though I still don't dislike these guys, because you can see later on that they don't really bug him that much with it.
Yeah,
and for the most part they make their jokes, but they accept it.
Yeah, they're good friends. They're not bad guys.
Yeah.
It's just that. Yeah, it's just this type of behavior that drives me crazy about Americans that visit Europe. You know what I mean? Like, we don't act like big enough assholes in our own country. So let's go to somebody else's country and act like a bunch of assholes.
Andy ends the discussion with, "Once we're in Paris, I'm going to do something that is going to put me up onto the list." And they're like, "Oh yeah, okay, whatever." No.
Yeah,
Then it
right.
cuts back. Then it cuts back to nighttime, directly into the Eiffel Tower, where the Eiffel Tower closes down. They sneak in and climb up to the Eiffel Tower. Going to have a party up there.
Right.
However, so then they climb up the Eiffel Tower and they're sitting there having their drinks or whatever. And Andy is now wanting to do a bungee jump off the Eiffel Tower. Got his rope prepared and everything, tying everything up. And then at first, his other two friends, Andy, I don't know, I think Chris and whatever the other guy's name is.
I can't
Like,
remember. I'm just going to call him Jock.
Jock, let's call him Jock. Chris and
Yeah.
Jock. No? Chris
Yeah.
and Jock are sitting there having a few drinks, laughing, like blah, 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 until they both notice that he actually wants to go through with it. And then the Jock walks up to him, tries to talk him out of it. He's like, "Hey, dude, we were just fucking with you. No,
Yeah, you don't have to jump off the Eiffel Tower just
don't,
because
don't do it.
just because
Dude,
we were peer
like, dude, you're
pressuring
gonna
you.
kill
What
yourself."
the fuck? Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Like this is the worst idea, Mike. This
Yeah.
is absolutely the worst idea because there is no way that you come out of this stunt other than how he comes out of it.
Yeah, because how? I mean, this is
Yeah.
how-
Yeah, it's physics. It's fucking physics. You don't jump off of something that you can reach back up with the bungee cord bouncing back up.
Yeah.
That is the stupidest fucking thing you could do. So I like if this was one of my buddies, I'd have been like, dude, if you do that, I'm gonna kill you. That is stupid.
Yeah.
These guys aren't
Yeah.
even drunk enough for this. You know what I
No,
mean?
not at
Like,
all. From Andy, the main the main wolf guy, is not yet, not even drunk at all. No.
yeah,
However, during this discussion, they hear somebody coming. Think it's a guard or whatever. No, so they all hide behind the wall or whatever. No. Then they see a girl come out. This is Seraphine, the second main protagonist of the movie. They're like, "Okay, what's wrong with this girl or whatever?" Andy sees her. You can instantly has a crush on this girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
For whatever
Yeah.
reason. You can see it in his face. However, he just gets up onto the rails and then they notice, oh, she wants to jump. And then Andy comes running out towards her. And it tries to talk her out of it. It's like, "Hey, it can't be that bad. Everything's gonna be good. You're probably going through a lot of shit, but trust me, everything will get better," even though he has no clue what's going on with her.
No.
I mean, if he would, well, if he knew what was going on with her, it might, it's understandable that somebody might want to kill themselves, but whatever. No?
It is. I mean, even if you knew, though, you'd still want to stop her. I mean,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. I mean, you would, if you knew, you would try to stop her, and then you would fucking run for your life because it's a
yes,
full moon naked.
that's the other thing. Yes, yes.
However,
Yeah.
she still jumps anyway. He tries to catch her, but then falls off the rail with her. No, and then they go. First he screams, and then after the shock is over, he skydives and grabs her on the foot. His friends notice that dumbass Andy didn't tie the rope, so they, in the last moment, grab the rope. And with two guys hold on to it so he doesn't fall to his death. And the rope, because he's holding her, no, he manages to hit the floor softly because once they're almost down to the floor, she
Yeah.
basically just plops down on the floor because there's not much of a distance anymore. No?
Yeah.
And then he goes back up and is all of a sudden happy, woo, whatever, for a reason because he pulled off the daredevil.
Great scene.
First brilliant scene where you laugh your ass off because while he's in the middle of, whoa, you hear him hitting some post of the Eiffel Tower that goes dong.
It's such a brilliant shot too because
Yeah.
you see him coming back up on the rope, like going, yeah, and it's like a side view. So you see him come up and he like hits the beam and the camera keeps going without him in it. It's fucking great, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucking brilliantly filmed.
Yeah.
I love this opening. Like the setup here is so good.
Yeah.
The setup is great. The setup is better than most horror movies of the time. The fact that he was about to jump and then she comes out to commit suicide at the same time and he saves her, right?
Yeah.
Again, absolutely brilliant opening, and you want to know what happens next. Like this gets you geared up for the film.
Yeah, absolutely. But thing is, what you don't know is he's probably responsible for a few deaths this night because
Yes,
at this
this is
time,
everything that
Seraphine,
happens in this movie from here on out is his fault.
yeah, it's all entirely. First, Seraphine probably turns this night and kills a few people, probably.
Yeah.
But then he wakes up in the hospital, and you don't know if this is. I guess this has to be the next day or a month later, because you still have a few werewolf transformations happening. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to assume now that this is like the next day or whatever.
Yeah.
He wakes up and
That's what I thought.
he has bandages on his head or whatever, and his friends wake him up like, "Hey, dude, great, you're awake, everything's fine or whatever." And they give him the shoe of Seraphine, and he's like, "Here's the shoe from your Cinderella."
Yeah.
And he just told back, "Dude, guys, I think I'm in love." The jock is like, "Nurse, something's wrong with him." That wasn't just joking around or whatever.
Yeah.
And uh, Andy instantly wants to get to this girl, probably first, obviously, because he has a crush on her. Second, because he thinks she wants to do something to herself for obvious reasons.
Right.
Both understandable. Then he instantly wants to jump out of the bed. "Oh, we have to find her. We have to find her. She might do something to herself or whatever." The jock is like, "Hey, Andy, just forget her.
Yeah.
A girl that does something like that has serious issues." He's like, "We don't need that shit now." But I would say he's kind of right. The girl has serious issues, but nobody is probably going to think that she has the issues she has. You know, like nobody's going to come up,
Right.
"Oh, she's a werewolf and she just slaughtered her parents."
Yeah. No, this is not something you would think.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
immediate thought would be, okay, we should probably call the police and tell them what happened.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But even then, they don't have any leads without the note that he wants to go find.
Yeah. Yeah. However, his two friends convince him to stay in bed. They'll go look for the note.
Yes.
Now, then comes another montage, another hilarious scene. His two friends go to the Eiffel Tower, are looking everywhere for this note, and just annoy everybody.
Yes. Like two Americans digging through the trash cans around the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
This one lady thinks that they're bums or whatever, so she throws change at them, like, "Here you go, guys," you know? And then they start fighting over the change that's on the ground that she threw, which is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, well, the montage is actually funny. You have like the one jock
Yeah.
popping over the other guy, trying to look what paper he's reading for some reason. The
Yeah,
guy
dude,
just
I don't understand that part. I don't understand that part.
I don't understand like the one guy peeps up behind the girl she's reading. I'm going to assume is just some novel or a diary or something.
It's
And then
like
he
a
looks at
note.
it,
It's a
and
letter, I think,
it's a
from
letter
some
to
guy.
something. And then for some reason then he looks at her breasts, no? And instantly
Yeah.
she gives him an angry look as any woman would.
It smacks him in the face. These
So
guys are
it's
doing
a funny scene.
just fucking idiots. Yeah, it's good humor all
Yeah.
the way around, man. Like the humor definitely keeps the flow of this movie going.
Yeah. Well, so eventually, these guys find the letter, and it cuts back to Andy. Andy sees Seraphine walking around through the hospital with hearts, and he of course goes after her. Huh?
Yeah, and they're like human hearts too. These are like she's just walking out of the hospital with bags of human hearts, which is
Yeah.
really strange. Of course, he
It is
doesn't notice
strange,
this
yeah.
at all. Like, doesn't think it's weird at all. He's just, well, of course, he's been banged in the head, so I mean,
Yeah.
maybe he didn't notice.
However, he runs after her shoreline through the hospital, and then she turns around and looks at him until his friend's car running by. "Andy, what's wrong?" or whatever. Then she gets away, and he's like, "Oh, Seraphine, I have to find her," or whatever, and blah blah. And he's like, they think, of course, he's hallucinating. No,
Of course, yeah,
until Andy, we found the note. They give him the note. And he looks at it like,
yeah. He's all
Real
giddy and
stupidly.
shit. This guy just wants to go find her now. But I
Yeah,
mean, this is how they realize that they think she's a nurse, right?
yeah.
And I think she actually may be a nurse, but it's never really clarified. Like Does she get into a nurse's outfit to go to the hospital to get hearts? Like, is she infiltrating the hospital, or is she actually a nurse? We don't really know that, and we never really
Yeah.
find that out. Just
Yeah,
thought I'd
but
bring that up.
yeah, we never really find that out, but doesn't really matter, dude. No,
Not really.
if she,
I just
if
thought
she,
it was interesting.
yeah, yeah. However, good. Then they obviously find with the note her address, and then go to her house. No, trying to find her. No,
Right.
and
So here's another question, Mike. Hang on. Here's another question. Did she go to the trouble to write her address on the note? Her suicide note?
good question. No,
It's like, what? So she just wrote her address on a suicide note? Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
All right.
Good. However, then they have this short discussion. Ty, they find she opens up the door. She's obviously does not really want them there. She would prefer them to go away so she can get home and do her shit. Then he says, "Here, but I found your shoe." And she takes the shoe and he sees blood on her hands. No?
Right.
The other guys are like, "Okay, well, let's go." He says, "Oh, yeah." He starts banging on her door because he thinks she's obviously trying to hurt herself again. No? And then she opens up again and she's like, "Please go away. So you have blood on your hand." He's like, "No, it's paint. I'm painting the basement or whatever." He's like,
Right.
"Okay, we can come in and help you." And his friends are like, "What?"
Like, I don't
But
want to be paid and I'm on vacation.
yeah, she tries to shoo them off. Duh. And then he said, "Please, I just want to talk. If you do something to yourself, I'll never be able to forgive myself or whatever." Nah.
Right.
So she eventually agrees to meet him and tells him a place and a time. Huh?
Yeah.
They both go off, and he's like happy because he got now this date with this girl.
Right.
And now his two idiot friends, like I guess maybe a day later on in the day, are giving him the dumbest discussions, telling him what to do and what not to do, act cool or whatever.
It's
Stupid.
ridiculous, dude.
It's
It
ridiculous,
is
huh?
absolutely ridiculous. These two guys are the last two guys that need to be giving anybody romance tips. Period.
However,
Like,
they put yeah
what the fuck?
they put condoms even in his pocket. He's like, "What? I don't need these." Like, "Are you a nun or whatever?" They back off, act like they are holding up a newspaper or whatever. No,
Yeah.
Seraphine comes up with a bike. No, just like they greet each other, and she instantly looks at him like, "What's with the sunglasses?" And he's like, "Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it's
he's all cool and shit
yeah,
because they told him he's got to dress cool and be nonchalant. Dude is just
yeah,
totally not being himself and making himself look like a fucking weirdo.
yeah." This is also what comes to another funny scene. He's like, "What do you want to do?" He's like, "Well, is there a cafe or whatever?" And
It's Paris.
yeah, she laughs. She just smiles at him, and we're in Paris. Okay.
So she meets him
Yeah.
outside. They go in a cafe. This scene right here is basically Monty Python type humor. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous, and it's so fitting because it's kind of at a pivotal point in the movie where you kind of want to see what's going on with this girl, but they keep subverting it by having crazy, stupid, funny things happen. Right? So he's acting weird. He's not acting like the guy she met the other day. He's acting weird. She notices it. She's like, he says something. Oh, that's right. He pulls out a napkin, and
Yeah.
his friends have written on the napkin, "It'll be 20 points for you if you bang her tonight." Right.
Yeah.
And so he's wiping his face with it, and she can read the napkin. So she sees it, and then she goes, "Okay, I see what's going on." And she says, "So are you on this date with me because you want to get to know me, or are you like every other guy I meet who's just trying to get me in bed?" And he's like, "Oh my God, no, I saved your life. I care about you. That's why I want to meet you." Then he tries to put the napkin back in his pocket. And when he does, she grabs it and pulls it out. And when, when she does that, all the condoms go flying across the fucking table. The fucking table is just peppered with condoms. And he's like, dude, at this point, just let it go. Just say my friends are, idiots and they did this to me and whatever. I'm sorry. No, he doesn't
Yeah.
do that. He's like, those aren't condoms. Those are bubble gum. It's an American thing. We make them look like condoms. Isn't that hilarious? And she goes, well, let me see. And she tries to grab it, and he opens the condom and puts it in his mouth like it's chewing gum before she can touch it, right? And so
Yeah.
he's sitting there chewing on this fucking condom like it's bubble gum. And she's like, I want you to blow a really big bubble for me. Because in France, it's a thing that the bigger the bubble is, the more that you care about me, right? This whole thing is ridiculous. So he starts blowing up the condom like it's fucking bubble gum. It just blows up this huge condom balloon, which then flies out of his mouth across the room and lands in soup that somebody else is eating. And of course, only the viewer sees this. We see where the condom landed. The couple that are eating the soup didn't even notice it landed in the soup. And so now this couple behind them is eating soup with condom in it, and he's still trying to explain himself away until the guy notices that there's a condom in his fucking soup and somehow knows that it's from him. I'm not sure. I think the waiter maybe tells him or something.
Yeah. The waiter comes up with the condom and says, "Ask, is this your condom?" And the guy from other couple is like some big bodybuilder type or whatever, runs up to him, says something in French that I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't speak any French.
And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't. I apologize or whatever." But the French guy's not having it. His friends try to help him, but this bodybuilder pushes them away easily. Seraphine goes between, says, "Stop. I'm obviously stop this shit. Just stop. It was an accident."
Yeah.
The guy doesn't stop, and Seraphine just picks up the guy and throws him halfway across the fucking room. No?
Yes.
Of course. This is the first thing that shows, okay, so these werewolves do have superhuman strength, even in human form before they turn.
Yes.
Everybody's just shocked by this. You see like a normal girl throwing this bodybuilder halfway through the room. He just instantly gets on her bike and takes off, while Andy chases after her, trying to figure out what went wrong. She says, "Oh, I'm sorry that happened." He said, "No, that scumbag deserved it, but how could you?" Typical questions like, "How could she have done that?"
Right.
And then she eventually stops, looks over a bridge, and Andy just looks at her and like, "You want me to go?" And she doesn't say anything. After that, he takes that as a yes, turns around and wants to leave. She asks him to stop and wants to say something to him, but then just says, "It's too dangerous for you to be around me. Nah. Please leave me alone. We shouldn't see each other anymore." No?
Right.
No? Well, it's kind of a bummer because you can see that she's also into him, but it's just like she really doesn't want to hurt him.
Yeah. I mean, obviously.
Yeah. Obviously.
She's got some shit going on. She doesn't want anybody in her life to get hurt anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So, however, she leaves, and then it cuts back to nighttime. And Andy and his friends go back to her house.
Yep.
In which they are greeted by another guy called, I think, Claude is his name.
I think so.
Yeah.
However, I thought Claude was the name of the inspector, but no, maybe you're right. It is this guy's name. This guy's name is Claude.
What people don't know is that this guy is the alpha werewolf of this pack. However, he greets them. "So Seraphine is not here. I take care of her." So this guy's instantly kind of suspicious straight up to begin with. And he says like, "Oh, you guys are Americans. I love Americans."
Yeah.
And
this gets revisited over and over and over in this film.
Actually, the fact is he hates Americans.
Yes.
Yes. He obviously loves to eat them.
Yes.
Yeah. He then tells them about this party going on, in his club or whatever. First, they don't want to go, but then he says Seraphine will be there. So then they obviously decide to go. It cuts back to the bar. He says, "Hey, if you guys come there, just tell them I sent you." No?
Yeah.
They'll let you in. No? Okay, they walk up to the club. It cuts back to the club where they're walking up to this club called Club de la Lune.
Club de la Lune,
Okay.
which these guys are Americans, so they don't know that Lune means moon.
Yeah.
And the jock guy's like, "Hey, this must be it because your chick is crazy and it's a loony club." It's this fucking guy. Yo.
Yeah. However, of course, they walk up to this club. First, they're greeted by the bouncer, who doesn't want to let them in. They say, "Hey, we're friends from Claude, and he also knows that they're Americans, so he lets them in. Okay. Then they come walking down the stairway, and this place is like super creepy straight up to begin with. If I was these guys, I would have just went in there, checked to see if she was there, and if not, I would have left. Because you see like drug addicts in the stairway, bums spending the night there, whatever. They
Yeah.
go down to this room. They're greeted by Claude. He's like, "Oh, how great he can make it," and then he goes off to do his thing. Nah, and this is like this place is far beyond any club. Instantly, they are suspicious, by the way, because they're all looking like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
And they instantly want to go. No, and Andy's like, "No, I think we should go back and wait for her at home or whatever." No, because I know I'll go. You guys stay. No, Andy, just you stay here in case she actually shows up. I'll go check and see if so. Okay,
Right.
So Chris leaves not before the place is closed off. Shortly after
Right.
that, the bouncer closes the place off and puts a car in front of it so nobody can get out.
Yeah. Yeah. Was
Now,
it a
however,
car this time or a bulldozer? Is it the bulldozer that comes later, or does he pull a bulldozer in front of it this time?
that happens later. That happens later. man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. However, you see like this weird party going on. Claude and his boys doing this weird ritual thing that nobody actually understands. No, it cuts back to Chris going back to Seraphine's house, looking wherever she is. Now he notices that she's locked up in the basement. Seraphine's like, "Chris, go away, leave, get out of here." And he's like, "What the fuck?" At first, he breaks into the basement, wanting to save Seraphine because he does not what a normal person would do because he has no fucking idea.
Yeah,
what's going
it's a
on.
girl locked up in a basement behind bars. I would have done the
Yeah.
same thing. Like, I can't blame this guy for that.
Yeah.
at all.
However, she's like, "Get out of here. You have to leave." He's like, "Yeah, but Andy's waiting for you at the club." He's like, "What? Club de la Lune." She sees the flyer, instantly panics and says, "You have there's the key. Open up the cell.
Open the
Your
fridge,
friends
yep.
are in danger." Yeah. Your friends are so he opens up the cell. He's like, "Hey, I'm coming with you. I want to help my friends." He says, "No, you can't. It's better if you stay here." No? He says, "No, if my friends are in danger," she just doesn't even bother and knocks him out, knocks him up in the cell.
Yeah.
And then goes to Club de la Lune. Yeah. However, you see then Seraphine driving up with her bicycle to the club. The bouncer does not want to let her in. He's like, "Claude said you can't enter or whatever." She just takes his hand away and says, "Would you like to spend the night out here with me alone?"
He's like, "No,
No.
go ahead."
He gets outside. She opens up the door and goes in. So he locks it back up. No? Seraphine runs down the stairs to Andy, grabs him by the hand, and is like, "Oh, Andy, we have to leave now."
Yep.
She goes away with him, and one of the other werewolves tries to stop them, and Seraphine just looks at him and says, "This one is mine." So the guy steps aside, thinking that
Yeah, right. That's her
Seraphine,
victim. Right.
it's her victim or whatever. Before they leave the room, like this other guy at the party says to Jock, "Hey, your friend just scored." He sees them leaving with Seraphine.
Yeah.
Shortly after that, Claude walks up to this werewolf, pins him on the against the wall, says something in French, probably something like, "Why the fuck did you let them go, dumbass?" No?
Yeah, right.
He takes two of the other guys and goes after them.
Yeah.
Okay. Seraphine walks up into the area that goes into the sewer, and it says like, "Okay, go in there. If you follow the sewer tunnels, it will lead you to safety. Go
Right.
now."
Right.
And you can already see that she's getting heated.
Yeah,
she's
her voice
sweating.
starts to change.
Her voice is changing. You can see her nose is changing. She's sweating. She's in pain. She's like, "Get out of here." He says, "No, why?" He kisses her. She kisses him back, but then just takes him and throws him into the fucking sewer tunnel.
Yep.
He's still like, "What the fuck is wrong here?" She says, "Leave. Get the fuck out of here." She starts throwing bricks at him. Okay, then he eventually starts to just run.
Like, take a hit, dude. Take a fucking hit. Seriously. Like, there was nothing okay with this situation at all. And the fact that he still wanted to hang out blew my mind.
He has no fucking idea what's happening at this point. He's standing there shocked, like, what is happening here? You can see that is his reaction. In this, now you see the initial werewolf transformation. This is Seraphine's transformation. It happens very, very fast, and it's done by CGI. For a lot of people, I would say it's not necessarily the best werewolf transformation, but still, this is like For the time, I would say okay. You see, like her put her face to the side, and the camera zooms into her. You see her cat eyes. Then her screams slowly starting to turn into a roar. You can see her ripping up her shirt, and then her slowly transforming. Once that happens, you see her then fall on all fours as a werewolf, or what we would better refer to as mini King Kong. Which more
yes,
like,
mini King Kong is a good way of saying
like
it. This looks like a fucking gorilla, dude.
Yeah.
Such a turnoff. It's such a
Yeah.
turnoff.
Yeah. Yeah. You see the werewolf or mini King Kong sniffing around, looking into the tunnel, and then he goes into the werewolf view. The werewolf like thing going into the tunnel. Now this is then it cuts to, I would say, definitely one of the best scenes in the movie. You see like then now all of the other guys, all of the werewolves are now starting to turn. This scene itself is actually pretty cool because the one guy screaming, the other guy his neck totally swelling up, and then the other guy just losing balance, falling off to the floor, and everybody is looking at these guys, laughing at them like, look, they're totally fucking wasted.
Yeah.
It's still short that you see,
it's
like,
good. It's a good scene. It's a good scene.
Yeah, it's great. Then of course, after they all finally first transform, the werewolf starts slaughtering people. No, great scene by the way, because you have like flashing lights going on, and it cuts between the different werewolves killing. You see the one werewolf stand up and grab a guy, bite him in the head. Then it cuts to the scene where it's up on the ceiling, and you see the werewolf jumping over the counter, attacking somebody else. Okay, now everybody's fucking panicking, running, trying to get out of the club. You see like this one guy, this one werewolf chasing people, and this one guy in a dog suit. The werewolf jumps the guy in the dog suit. All the people run up towards this entrance, are banging on the door, let us out, let us out. And the bouncer says, none of you are leaving out here. And so a hand comes through the door, holds the bouncer by the shirt. And then all of a sudden, one of the werewolf's parents, he gets the guy, the bouncer falls back and has like the arm, the loose arm, because hanging on his shirt.
Werewolf bit it off. Yeah, cool scene.
Okay,
cool scene.
Definitely one of the cool scenes in the movie. Okay, shortly before this slaughter happened, the jock followed Andy and Seraphine into the tunnel.
Yeah, right.
So now you can see like the jock goes in, calling for Andy. Andy. Well, it looks like the party is really getting started now. Then it cuts back to the werewolves and the people.
Yeah,
love this scene by the way.
Yeah, this scene's fucking sick, dude.
Then in the tunnel scene, this is also actually pretty cool. Andy is walking around looking for Andy. So he stops by a dark corner and he sees these eyes looking at him in the tunnel. Well, his first reaction is, okay, what the fuck? But he's probably not going to assume it's a werewolf. He tries to hold up the lamp to see whatever the fuck that is until the werewolf shortly jumps him. He drops the lamp on the floor. The werewolf shortly starts back because of fire. Andy instantly is like, shocked, wants to get up and run away, but the werewolf jumps over the fire onto him and starts ripping him apart.
This guy got left behind by his two friends in the club. Nobody gave a shit.
Yeah, and he gets eaten by a werewolf. Okay, then shortly after that, it cuts back to Andy walking through the tunnels, trying to find his way out, not really knowing what's going on. He sees a silhouette, somebody walking towards him. I would say like 152 meters away from him. He's like, Seraphine, is that you? Because you can't really see what's happening. Then he just hears this thing growling at him.
Yeah.
And the slowly starting to walk towards. Now, this is a great scene, by the way. Yeah. I agree with you totally. Andy instantly just turns out and starts running, obviously. Werewolf then now starts to chase him. Andy manages to slam a door shut, but for a short minute stops the werewolf, but the werewolf just pushes the bars over.
Yeah, these things are strong as hell, dude.
Of course, the werewolf just pushes the bars over and up. And before the werewolf can get him, Andy grabs this spear and just holds it up and impales the werewolf here in the shoulder. Then just starts to run. The werewolf screams in pain, but then rips the spear out of his chest and just, catches her breath for a few minutes, what actually gives Andy the opportunity to run away.
Right.
Andy reaches towards the dead end and does not know what to do. He sees this small pipe, so he just crawls through the fucking pipe, hoping it will get out. But shortly before he manages to get fully into the pipe, the werewolf catches him and bites him in the leg. He still manages to hold himself on the pipe and get out. He opens up the getter, whatever, with his pipe, and then climbs out into safety. And you can hear the werewolf going around. You hear the werewolf going. What's it called? The werewolf howl. The werewolf howl.
Yeah,
you can hear.
There's howling. Yeah,
and then it's that is pretty much so far, for that scene. Definitely, what I agree with you. One of the best parts of the movie.
But the CGI is off-putting here. But at the same time, the build-up and how they filmed the scenes with the werewolf interactions were good. They did what they could do with it, and it was effective. CGI is a little bad in some spots, but still pretty good.
It is. It's so far
did not take me out of the film at this point.
It is really great. Me neither. Then it cuts back to the next morning. Andy wakes up in a bed, has no idea where he is, but not actually one scene. This is one scene.
Yeah, we did. I was gonna say it's the scene with his buddy in the basement.
Yeah. His buddy wakes up in the basement. Sees this hospital bed, not sure what to do. He knows where the key is. He takes off all of his clothes to form them into a towel, manages to get them to the other side of the wall where the key is, and then tries to knock off the key onto his clothes so he can pull it into the cell. What he manages to do, he opens up the cell, gets his clothes back on, wants to leave, but then hears somebody breathing on the hospital bed.
Yeah.
And he probably just wants to go see who's there, probably thinking, at this point, you hear somebody breathing, hospital bed, maybe just to see.
Just curiosity, morbid curiosity.
Help or whatever.
Yeah.
That's true. However, instantly, this comes out, what happened, it is actually a werewolf. Jumps out of the hospital bed, almost kills him, or is tied to the bed.
It's great. So this is all practical as well.
This is reason why this werewolf looks actually kind of cool because of course it's practical effect. This is clearly a guy in a suit or something, or a practical effect or whatever.
It's effective.
They should have done this for all of the werewolves.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't know why it worked so well in this scene. Why did they not just continue this?
Good question, dude. I don't know. However, Andy manages to, because the werewolf doesn't have any legs and has to crawl, Andy manages to get out of the basement alive without getting hurt by the werewolf.
Yes.
Okay, that is a scene definitely that we forgot, but a great scene, by the way. No?
Yeah.
What later is going to come out?
That's honestly probably my favorite part of the film. Is that scene?
Yeah.
Just because it looks so good, like they did a good job.
What later on is going to come out that this werewolf is actually the guy from the beginning, the scientist, and which is Seraphine's stepfather.
Yes.
So she didn't kill him, but he's in a coma. But because he was bit, he's also now a werewolf. So apparently, at full moon nights, he turns and then he's awake until he turns back, and then he falls back into the coma. How that works, who knows?
I have no idea. It doesn't matter. It's effective for the movie. Who cares?
Yeah. Exactly. However, Andy wakes up the morning in the bed. Apparently, Seraphine, when she turned back, found Andy and took her back to her house.
Yes.
When she found Andy, she probably saw that he was bitten. So that's probably why she took him home, because she knows he's going to fucking turn the next night, and she wants to prevent him from hurting anybody. Andy wakes up in the bed and is kind of like confused where he is. Then it cuts back to Seraphine. Now she's down in the kitchen grinding up human hearts in a mixer. And this is like her, like a total normal thing. She's like getting up in the morning, grinding her human hearts like she's making a cup of coffee.
Yeah, right. Very used to it at this point.
Brilliantly. Yeah. Chris sees this, by the way, through the window, and it's just, this looks at it like this shit is batshit crazy.
Yeah.
But what I also like about it is this also introduces that the werewolves
feed off of human hearts. And the next few scenes specifically show that the werewolf even has an effect on the humans in human form, at least during full moon nights, that they also probably crave human hearts. And there's also something probably even over a long period of time, werewolves eventually, even in human form, crave for. So, and it also might just be something that when Seraphine eats or drinks these human hearts after they're mixed up, that it might calm down the werewolf. Or make the werewolf aggressive because it's...
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was something to kind of bring down the hunger because we saw in the first movie how ravenous the original character was when he turned, right? So she knows that you're ravenous because she's one too. So that's probably what she's doing is toning down the aggressiveness of this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andy hears something at the window, opens it up, and sees a stone come flying through. But this is the part where
He dodges it.
Yeah, he dodges it. Chris just looks at it. You gotta get out of there. Your girlfriend is a fucking nut job. She's grinding up human hearts in the kitchen or whatever. And he's like, what? However, then Seraphine comes into the room and has like this human heart shake.
Yeah.
And
delicious human heart slushy.
Human heart shake. No? Seraphine walks up to him and says, no, you have to go back to bed. You're still a little bit dizzy. And she puts him back in, lays him back in bed and puts the human heart on the floor. She sits on the bed to him. Here, you should drink this. It'll help you. And he's like, what is this? I don't like tomato juice. And she says, it's not tomato juice. And to me, it tastes good. To a werewolf, it probably does, I guess.
Sure. I mean,
he doesn't really want to do that. This is where she sits on top of him. And just looks at him with a very thirsty look.
Yeah.
So this is also where she totally changes, and she goes from the girl that, oh, leave me alone, I don't want to hurt you, whatever, to like, fuck it, he's a werewolf now too, so now we can bang. No?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It happens pretty fast, but it's obviously, you can understand. She was also into him, and she's been alone for quite some time. She likes this guy. He's a werewolf now too, and also the combination is it's full moon, and she's probably also having animalistic urges, just like Andy. Not so far much because he isn't that far in the transformation. So you have like a lot of different things going on here. I would say she takes off her shirt, and once she pulls it off, she's like a werewolf coming at him, and he instantly screams. But before this happens, this is a great scene, by the way. Before this happens, she checks his foot.
Mm-hmm.
Pulls off the bandage, and he was like, I had a weird dream. I got bit by some big dog last night or whatever. She pulls out the bandages and see that that's almost healed. He's like, that's healing fucking fast. And she bandages it back up and says, yeah, that's now a part of your new metabolism. And he's looking at her like, what? Yeah. Okay. She puts him, she lays him back down. Is like, okay, Andy, there's something I have to tell you. And please don't laugh or something like that. And he's like, okay. Then she's like, yeah, well, the thing is, what attacked you last night was not a dog. It was a werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
Andy starts laughing. He starts cracking up. He's like, what? Starts making these werewolf howls at the moon. And she's like, no, this is serious. You were bit by a werewolf, and you're going to turn into one too. Huh?
Yeah.
And
he thinks this is some type of kink. Yeah, I love it.
I remember that because when she took off her shirt, that was purely a dream. And after that, she walks into the room again, and the scene happens. Yes. I tell you,
right?
He keeps on laughing. What makes sense because she's standing topless, has no shirt on. What is kind of a weird situation to tell him, you're a werewolf now, but
yeah, right. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's funny. It's funny.
However,
the comedy here is gold.
It is. However, until her mom comes up and is like, Seraphine, you're doing the same mistake again. She instantly puts his head away. So, Mom, no, this is something different. Klopp stole my blood. I wasn't. Andy is a different situation. No, Andy's like, oh, hey, Miss Seraphine. Hi, nice to meet you. He says, Seraphine, won't you introduce us? His mom was like, oh, no, I'm not as pretty as I used to be. And Andy is like, oh, yeah, you probably go through as sisters, no? What's something brought up? No? Funny scene, by the way, because a scene before, I'm not sure where it happened. It might have been at the date before or after. However, Seraphine confessed to Andy why she wanted to kill herself.
Yeah.
No, because she said that she told him at the date that her parents are dead. That's why.
Right.
Then eventually,
Yeah,
Andy
she told him that they were
remembers
both
and
dead.
is like, didn't you say that your mom was dead? Then he looks in the mirror and sees her mom as a zombie.
Yeah.
He instantly freaks out. Now jumps out of the bed, and Seraphine's like, you scared her. He's like, I scared her?
I scared her from a fucking zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to point out the makeup here is excellent.
Yes, that's the crazy thing by this way, dude.
Yeah.
The makeup for the zombies is super cool, absolutely great. And I just thought they put way too much effort into the zombie things instead for the werewolves.
Yeah.
I mean, people would have generally, I think it should have been the other way around. I mean, even in the original American Werewolf in London, they did both things great. But considering the fact this is a werewolf movie, they should have just put more effort into the werewolves instead of the zombies.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I agree with you.
it is how it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is how it is. Good. However, after this point, Seraphine grabs the glass of the human heart shake and tries to get Andy to drink it. No, but he refused it entirely. He's freaked out all of a sudden by his weight. No, until her mom pops up and says, do what the girl tells you. Andy just panics and just runs and jumps out of the fucking window.
Of course. I'd be the same way.
Yeah. But this is also the next scene that shows that Andy is already changing, because this is like the second floor, and he jumps out of the floor without hurting himself, and then jumps over a bush that is like 2 meters high. Duh.
Yeah.
This clip shows like, okay, like this is
He's
also the next
transforming.
thing.
Yeah.
That these werewolves not only have superhuman strength, but that they also have agility, and also that through Andy's leg also established that they have super healing. Not like
healing factors, right?
Those 3 main factors. Well, in lore itself, what I've heard a lot of criticism people, we have like the other werewolves going down faster than him, or like the other werewolf getting hit by a train, not dying or whatever. Well, these things can be explained through. For me, even when I was younger, when I saw it the first time, I could explain these very well. The werewolves clearly have super healing, but it's not like superhero level. It's not like
it's just fast.
No, but also considering the fact they get shot or whatever, it also depends on where they're shot. If they get like shot in the leg, the arm, or in the shoulder, if only a muscle is hit, or let's say like a kidney or whatever, they'll keep on ticking. You're going to have to shoot them more than once to get them down.
Yeah, right.
But for example, if it hits them in the head or in the heart, they'll go down. Yeah. That's how I would explain it. Because it was the same thing in American Werewolf in London. I mean, like, it's just like, sort of runes like with the arms, muscle, bone, that stuff that'll heal fast. But the heart is an organ. If they get hit they'll go down. As you can see later on in the scene, when one of the werewolves goes down further to see how the cop shoots him, and how the werewolf actually reacts to the shot and then falls down, you can see the way that I would assume that the werewolf got shot in the heart, because you can see the werewolf gets hit, it instantly turns, makes some noise, you can see that it has pain here somewhere, and then falls down. That's why I assume that this is a scene later on the werewolf gets hit in the heart.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it depends where they get shot.
Yeah. However, Andy just runs away. Chris tries to follow him, but Claude catches him, kisses him on the cheek and says, I love Americans, and then just fucks off with Chris. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, after this, Andy tries to figure out actually what the fuck happened last night. He goes back to Club de la Lune. That is now a fucking murder scene. He walks why he sees human parts everywhere and just totally ignores that this is a murder scene, just walks through.
Walks right through
One
it.
of
Yeah.
the cops notices him, but
Typical
he just starts up,
American.
walks right through it. Yeah, typical American, yeah. Walks up into the river, and sees that Andy is being pulled out of the water and is like, the cop tries to grab him and take him out of the murder scene. He pulls his shoulder away until the detective shows up and says, okay, please leave the guy alone. This is a thing where the detective instantly knows that Andy probably knew the murder victims. Yeah, of course. And this is where Andy realizes, where Andy realizes that Doc got killed because he sees him being pulled out of the river. Okay. The cop introduces himself as Inspector, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And they take him
DeLuke, I think is DeLuke.
Yeah. Then they take him to the police headquarters. And then they start to question him. Basically, what happened. Of course, the cops thinks he's fucking nuts. I think the chief, the commissioner, I think is what she is. She's convinced that this guy is on drugs. Now she bombards him with questions.
Hell bent on saying everything has to do with drugs, Mike. Did you notice that? Didn't matter what it was. It's always drugs.
Everybody on this heart was on drugs. Are you guys a part of the ritual? Why do all victims, why is the heart all victims or whatever? And he's like, I no. After that, the commissioner tells the doctor to check him on drugs. After that, they take, you see Andy down with the detective in the, that happens afterwards. I'm mixing the scene up, because after that, they let Andy go, and then he gets followed by a cop,
Right.
Andy,
he gets
walks
shadowed
over
by
the
somebody
bridge,
who's
and this
watching
is
him.
where, by shadowed, exactly. When Andy's walking over the bridge, this is where his werewolf is kicking.
Yep.
You see, like, he's hearing everything magnified. It's totally fucking confusing him. He's having now here an episode because his senses are all going haywire. This actually should have been the first sign to him, but he believes everything, but not that he's going to turn into a werewolf.
Okay.
However, he eventually snaps out of it and sees a dog humping him on his leg.
Yeah, of course. He's turning into an animal.
Exactly. Yes. However, then it comes back to a restaurant in the nighttime. And Andy is now eating at a restaurant, acting like a complete fucking asshole. He's like, he's ordering one steak after another. Licking his fingers off, eating like a total pig. He's full with meat sauce or whatever.
Yeah.
The waiter comes up to him and puts the steak on his table, and Andy is like, "Hey, I said rare. This is not rare."
Yeah. Yeah.
The waiter
the thing is bloody as hell. It's not even cooked.
Yeah. He grabs it, slams it back on his table. No, I'll eat this while I wait. Not even using forks or whatever. He just starts eating it, like acting like a complete fucking animal.
Yeah.
It's obviously why,
covered
because
in
now
meat juice, dude, like all over his fucking face.
Yeah, obviously why. He's now going. The urges are coming. He's starting to turn. But he still doesn't. He's not really aware what's going on with him. Then you have like this hot blonde chick walking into the restaurant. Obviously an American, can't speak French. Then this instantly ticks him off on some kind of weird mating thing going on.
He's like a dog.
Starts smelling
you got to think about dogs. This is how dogs act, you know.
Yeah. He starts walking around on all fours through the restaurant. Everybody looking at him like he's a complete fucking idiot. He walks up to, sniffs this girl up her skirt, and is in the shop like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Jesus Christ, this girl is so dumb. She's so dumb.
Yeah, but the best part still is to come. Now she notices that he's an American. Yeah. And he starts then hitting on her because now it's like he's acting like this total, cool guy.
Yeah, he's in mating brain now.
He's in mating brain now, but it's obviously the werewolf, however. Yeah. Then apparently, for some reason, this girl decides to sit down with him on a table and have a date with him. No, they start talking about different things. No, she notices he's looking at her tits, and he shortly snaps out of it. He's like, "Hey, I do not know what's wrong with me. I'm normally not like this." She starts laughing, doesn't believe him. Then he starts having an episode again. No, when he snaps out of it, kind of one of the most hilarious scenes in the fucking movie. The waiter puts this tablet on the table, pulls it off. He sees the head of his of the jock looking at him like, "Hi, Andy." He instantly jumps up, points his finger at the table, says, "You're dead." Then it shows what everybody else is seeing. It's just fish that people prepared for fruit. And the waiter is like,
"I saw you dead in the canal." Everybody in the restaurant thinks
and
this
the
dude is
waiter's
absolutely nuts, and it's hilarious.
The waiter's just like, well, it's well done. This is food. He just imagine this. Dude. What's up? And screams at the food. "You're dead. I saw them pull you out of the canal."
And the waiter, when he says that, the waiter's like, no, sir, this came from the ocean. Like, you don't eat fish out of the canal in Paris, dude. So he's like insulted for his restaurant too, because he says this. It's fucking brilliant, man. The comedy here is fucking gold. I love it.
This is great. Just you're dead. That's how they pull you out of the canal. However, there was another scene that was also great. He just runs out of the restaurant. The blonde chick falls over because she's also wasted up her ass. Then she follows him out. But one scene we forgot. Shortly before this happened, he went to the toilet. No, and first he went to the toilet. After that, no, trying to get his mind clear. No, this is where the jock shows up again. No, and tells him basically what's going on. It's like, "Andy, no, you have to lock yourself up." And he's like, "Why?" He says, You're going to turn into a werewolf." Andy is like, "Hey, dude, I'm a little bit wasted, but I'm not a fucking werewolf, no." And this is where the job goes out. "Hey, dude, of course. Look, you're changing. You're acting different. There's no way you would be hitting on that bimbo out there." Of course, the job, and he's like, and then they have this short discussion. Funny scene, by the way, because of course Andy is the only one that sees the jock, and he's standing there taking a leak, and just looking down and talking with the jock, and the other guy walks in, and he just looks at Andy's standing there. "You know what? You're dead. I know it, and everybody knows it. Deal with it."
This guy thinks he's talking to his dick, dude. It's fucking funny. And what's funny is the guy doesn't say anything either. He just like looks at him all crazy and then like leaves the room, you know? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, however, then you see like the blonde girl and Andy talking shortly while he's still being shadowed by this one cop. The cop miserably fails to stay quiet because he starts fucking around with some toy or whatever.
Turns the toy on, yeah.
Then he says, what do you want to do?" I'm not sure what actually both of them say, but eventually you see like rock music going on. I think it's, what song was it? Was it from The Doors?
It's
the song that
no. So Jim Morrison's grave is in Paris, right? So the song is playing in the background, and she thinks he means let's go to his grave. So they go to Jim Morrison's grave.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Yeah,
exactly. And then they start banging on Jim Morrison's grave. Start making out. Obviously, what's going to happen now? Nah. In the middle of the process, Andy then now starts to turn. Nah.
Yes.
He's just above this girl, instantly starting going into pain, and she's like, "Oh, you're so hot. You're so hot." No. This is like this girl is also a little bit kind of weird because, I mean, you can see that this guy is in pain somehow. No? And, however, he just gets up and starts to run. No? And you can see like his face change and everything, that he's now starting to turn into a werewolf. No? He jumps into a spring. No? Well spring.
Yep.
No?
Like a fountain.
And then it
cuts fountain.
And then it cuts back to the girl now walking throughout the cemetery, screaming Andy's name. Here, where are you? You could have at least gave me your number. It's basically like, how much guys do I have to fuck to find a decent?
This girl's such a dumbass.
I mean, it's like,
dude.
yeah, okay. Then just cut shortly back between the scene where Andy is now turned. You see him, short scenes of him in the wellspring turn into a werewolf, no? And she still is now just wandering around on the cemetery looking for him, no? Eventually decides apparently to just leave, and then she'll sees the spring like really starting to boil or whatever. No,
Right.
she shortly walks up to the wells, not really noticing what's going on, and this is when the werewolf jumps out of the wellspring of the
Yep.
spring. No, she
Yep.
instantly gets shocked and just starts running.
He bolts,
And
yeah,
you see,
as
like, the
anybody would.
Yeah, anybody would at this point, no? And this is like, I like the scene itself, no? This is also one of the better scenes, I would say. You see, like, the werewolf shaking its, drying itself off like a dog.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this is also where you can see the first actual full glimpse of the werewolf, and you can just see it looks like a fucking cat, you know? So,
It
I
does.
mean,
It looks
we
like
could
a
easily
fucking
call
cat with fur, dude. I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah, a mountain lion possessed by Satan. So we could easily just call this movie "American Werecat in Paris." Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I'm fine with that. Yeah, it fits.
it, then it shows the werewolf view through the werewolf eyes. No, him chasing down the girl. No, somehow instinctively, this girl notices that she's wearing this perfume, and she starts spraying this perfume in these different mausoleums to distract the werewolf.
Yep.
Pretty smart move,
Smart.
by the way. No. Yeah, because as you can see, the werewolf is then now tracking down her perfume. Uh, smashes into the mausoleum, sniffing her out. Nah. Then she eventually hides in one of the mausoleums that she does not spray with the perfume. She might have would have even been okay if she would have just stayed there. Nah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
she saw
I
the
was gonna
shadow
say that too.
of
If she had just stayed there, she wouldn't be dead now.
yeah, she wouldn't be. She would have been fine. But
Yeah.
she sees something crawling behind her, jumping at her, no? And then scares and runs out of the mausoleum because she thought it was the werewolf, no?
Yeah.
Just starts running. So the cop stops, says, "Hey, stop, I'm from the police," no? She turns around, is sort of a short moment of relief. And like, "Hey, you hear me from the hiccup." And then you see the cop pointing his gun at something, no? Obviously, the werewolf was standing on one of the rooftops, jumps down on the blonde girl, and just starts ripping at her. No?
Kills her. Yep.
What?
Yeah, he makes no time with her, dude. Like it's an instant kill. Just
He instantly kills her. Now it rips her apart. Then the cop shoots at the werewolf, but misses it multiple times. Like, nah, I mean, shouldn't the cop usually be able to aim a little bit better, but whatever. No?
you would think so, but this is plot armor. It's like a lot of things.
It's plot armor. However, the werewolf then just charges at the cop. Then it goes up into the camera goes up in the sky, and then it blacks out. Then you hear the dog yipe. So obviously the werewolf also killed the dog. Huh?
Right.
Yeah. Then it cuts back to the next morning. Andy wakes up in the middle of the street, butt naked, with blood covered with blood. Yeah.
This is a great scene because you kind of have to like fill in the blanks with your mind about what happened here, you know?
Yeah.
Basically, he humped this poor thing to death as a werewolf. This poor animal. Because they pick it up by the tail and its legs are just like splayed out like this. So you know that's what happened. I mean, but they don't say it. And it's funny because he's laying there naked and he stands up and they're like, "We have to arrest you." And he's like, "What for?" And the cop's like, I could start with multiple things. And that's when you see the animal that they pick up. This poor fucking thing. He's like, "Name it, you did it," you know?
Yeah. Now then, this is where it cuts back to the movie. and the detective is showing the girl that got killed, that she's totally being ripped apart or whatever. And he's like,
Yeah.
Andy is shocked by this. Obviously, he's a murder suspect now. This is basically what the detective is explaining to him. And then the detective leaves the room. And while Andy is looking at the dead girl, she wakes up, looks at him, and is like, "Oh, I hope it was as good as for you as for me, you fucking asshole."
She's like, it took me 6 years of Pilates to get this body, and you tore through it like it was a pinata.
He closes the casket she's laying in. Obviously, now that she's a ghost, she instantly pops up next beside him. No? And he's like, "You're dead." He says, "No, I'm undead. And because you fucking idiot killed me, I have to walk around as a fucking ghost until you die." No? And this is where the jock comes back in. He says, "No, not yet. I need him.
Yeah.
He has to kill the werewolf for me." And
And the dynamic here is so cool between these two ghosts, dude. Like, this is the perfect way to up the ante from the first movie right here, to have two ghosts that are like, one of them wants him dead, the other one wants him to kill the werewolf that killed him, and they're both fighting against each other is fucking brilliant.
Yeah. The funny thing is at one point the jock's just like, Andy, see, I told you this would happen. If you would have listened to me, we wouldn't be in this situation. And then she's like, "You knew this was going to happen," just punches him in the face, but obviously her fist goes to him through. Then all of a sudden you hear the other caskets, somebody slamming. You see one of the ghosts pop out. "Hey, can you guys be quiet?
Some of us are trying to sleep." It's so slapstick, man.
Yeah, then
totally slapstick.
But then Andy's like, "Hey, dude, they're going to lock you up. You have to get out of here," the jock says to Andy. Then it cuts back to a short discussion between the commissioner and the detective. And the commissioner just screams at him like, "I don't care about your wild theories or wild animals. Arrest this guy. He obviously did it." Yeah. This is also where it seems that the detective himself does not think that Andy killed him.
Right. No, I get the feeling the detective
because he
actually believes a werewolf story.
Yeah. Well, so far he's not aware of werewolf. They haven't heard anything. The cops now.
He knows something else is going on.
Yeah, because the detective assumes that the way these victims were killed, they were all missing the hearts. How they were torn apart, this couldn't be done by a human. There's no
right.
No.
Yeah.
Well, he's assuming one animal. No, but even though how absurd it is, it is a logical conclusion. No. However, Andy hides in one of these, I don't know what they're called, one of the morgue things where they leave the dead bodies.
It's like one of the cold boxes in the morgue. He like gets inside of it and shuts himself up inside of it. Yeah.
Exactly. Then that way he manages to get away. And then Andy sees a scene where he is walking down the street with the ghost talking to both of them.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh God, I can't believe I'm going to have to eat people for the rest of my life." And the jock is like, "Well, shit, tough luck. You're going to have to get used to it."
I love that part, dude. If you notice a background change on my side and you notice any other changes, we're going to call this like kind of an Evil Dead thing where things aren't the same as they were in the last scene. Mike's hair is wet because he just took a shower, and it is a day later, and I am in a different country. So we're continuing this now. Anyway, go ahead, Mike.
I'm good that I still know where we left off, because we left off in the scene where, Andy is now walking down the road with the two zombie ghosts behind him saying like, "I can't believe I have to eat people for the rest of my life." And his friend is like, "Well, tough luck." And then Andy brings up, "Isn't there some way I can stop it?" Yeah. This is actually a new lore introduction they've done compared to American Werewolf in London, because in American Werewolf in London, his friend just told him to kill himself. And in this movie, at this scene, the jock, his friend, tells him, "Yes, there's a way, but you won't like it."
Yeah.
And says you have to find a werewolf who bit you, then you have to kill it and eat his heart.
Yes. So this guy had better tech support in death than the last guy did. He got the full rundown, whereas the guy in the last movie got like a couple of sentences, and they were like, "Have fun," you know.
Yeah. Well,
This guy has more info.
this is a lore introduction, but it's like you don't know what is now actually true or not because I don't know. Could it be true? Yes or no? How should I say? You could say which one because it was not specifically it mentioned any way to cure yourself from the werewolf curse.
Right.
This kind of so and this aspect kind of brings the fact up that it's more supernatural curse than something biological. No.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to assume you don't really know. It could also be that that's just that he knows because he has some connection to the other world. No, that does not necessarily mean that he's right.
Well, plus,
No?
I mean, in the first movie, there was no way to end this curse this way because the werewolf that killed his friend in the first movie was already killed and buried.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So the ability to go back and eat that werewolf's heart would be impossible. Right.
Yeah, it is. It's not. Yeah, yeah. It's
So
impossible.
that's probably why it didn't come up. And that's probably why they did it this way.
Yeah,
but
probably.
It's
yeah.
still cool because this is kind of one of those things where I wish other horror movies would take note because they added to the lore without taking anything away from the lore that
Yeah.
came before it.
Yeah,
And
of
that's
course.
brilliant. It's obvious that this was carefully done to where it didn't ruin anything for anybody. And I like that because they could have just completely ruined the lore of the first movie, but they decided to respect it, which is awesome.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
cool. It's cool. Great. No?
Yeah.
However, Andy. Then it comes to Andy. At this point, Andy thought that it thinks that it's Seraphine that bit him. That she was the last one he thought. No, so it
Right.
makes the most sense. Now he was like, "No, that's not going to happen." Walks off to the street. The jock screams at him, "Andy, watch out because he's going to get hit by a bus."
This is my
Andy
favorite
jumps-
scene.
Andy jumps back, and the girl and then the zombie girl is like, "What the fuck did you do that for? He was going to die."
Yeah, and it's cool because I don't think these two zombies realize that nobody else except for werewolves can see them, right?
Yeah.
I like either that or she's too dumb to realize that. Like maybe the jock got the full story, but she didn't.
Then of course a car comes up, and then you see the werewolf pack just pull Andy into the car
Yeah,
and then take
that's
off.
his part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you have
Yeah.
the thing where they're driving in the car and they're just sitting there, nobody's saying anything. They're all looking super pissed. No? And then you're just sitting there, so you guys are werewolves too. Nice. Yeah.
What do you do in that situation?
Yeah. Okay. However, then the Claude, I think is his name, or the Alpha Werewolf says, "Andy, you don't appreciate the gift we gave you," and blah blah blah.
Yeah, you get the feeling that they don't like it. Like there's a certain way this goes down when someone turns into a werewolf. This is like vampires in like True Blood. If you
Yeah.
turn somebody into a vampire, there has to be a specific, like everybody has to be okay with it. Everybody has to agree with it.
Are you? Yeah, of course, but you're missing the entire church scene.
No. What do you mean?
Yeah, because you said you have the feeling that, of course, you're right. That is absolutely what this is.
Yeah.
The case. Not necessarily that as a procedure, but this is also they've taken him to the church. Then
Yeah.
Claude explains all of this to him.
Yeah, I know, but I like the fact that they added this in there. Is what I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
they could have been very haphazard about it. They could have said,
Yeah.
well, people get turned into werewolves all the time, no big deal. But they actually added like a level of
now
respect
you
to
where
it,
to
which
go.
is cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well, yeah, I agree with you on that point. It's that they have like this, just like that these werewolves have their kind of like, as you say, rite of passage, how they
Right.
turn somebody or whatever. Yeah. And this is something that is explained because these werewolves take him to this church. And then the leader, the Claw, has this big monologue on an extreme right-wing monologue, I would say. Yeah. And did you ever notice that all of these guys are skinheads?
I was going to bring that up.
Now, that's the funny thing because
There is a
first-
supremacy to this. Yes.
yeah, what?
There is a supremacy to this. Yes.
Exactly. I mean, there is a supremacy aspect to it, what you can see within these characters, because all of the same bad guys are definitely, in my opinion, an analogy for right-wing groups. No?
Yes, they are.
But
exactly what it is. Yeah.
But what I thought was funny that in American Werewolf in London, he was having evil dreams of German werewolf soldiers. And the second part, they put this into it that they're werewolf skinheads, more or less.
That was done specifically on purpose. I think that
Probably. Yeah.
they definitely did that because of the first movie. They had to have, because it's just too on the nose.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I think in one point he even screams, "Hey, skinheads are planning this thing" to a crowd later in the movie in the church. When the second, when the second party happens, he actually calls them skinheads.
Yeah,
Which is cool. Yeah.
I totally missed that, but yeah, cool.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, it's
However,
when we get there, I'll mention it, but he gets up on like the podium to try to warn all the Americans that are in that place, and he says, "Hey, skinheads are planning something evil. Get out."
yeah.
So he actually uses the
okay.
word skinheads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't remember that, but that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
No? I didn't actually remember exactly what Andy says in that scene, but however, these werewolves take them to this church that is kind of like their headquarters, I would assume. No?
Yeah.
And just like I said, the Claw has this big monologue. And then he turns around, picks up a big knife, and says, "I chose my companions for their loyalty and ambitious or motivation for the cause or whatever. Nah,
Right.
but you were an accident." Points the knife at him. You, Andy, were an accident. Of course, Andy wasn't supposed to survive, but he made it out alive and is now a werewolf. Nah?
Right.
And this is also where Claude says that, but generally, I don't want to kill you. No? He still wants them to join them. No? So, okay.
Yeah, no unnecessary death if you can actually get someone to believe in the cause. I mean, that makes a lot of sense for groups like that.
Now, of course, obviously. No, I mean, he was an accident, but no, they'll let him live if he joins them. No, he takes him down to another room where they have Chris, his friend, hanged up. No, and
This
basically,
poor guy.
This poor sucker. Yeah, this guy literally throughout the entire movie has only got his ass kicked.
No, I love that though, because he's the one character that, in my opinion, is just kind of a macho jerk. So I'm fine. Which actually, he's a pretty sympathetic character. I like him. He's got good intentions. He tries to help, but for the most part, I wouldn't talk to this guy if he was on the street. Like he's just that macho jerk, And so the fact that from this point on in the movie, he's tied to a cross or tied up in some way is okay. Yeah. And then later when something happens in the church, I laugh my ass off. I actually had to pause it because it's so ridiculous what happens to him. But yeah, go ahead.
However, he's chained up, and Claw throws the knife on the floor and basically says, "Here, cut out his heart." That's what he basically has to do to show them that he's one of them. Yeah. At this point, Andy basically just tells them to go fuck themselves.
Yep. As you would. Yep.
No, I'm not doing it. No.
Yeah.
Instead of attacking Chris, he attacks Claude, and a fight with all these different werewolves happen. Andy manages to get out into the other room of the church, but instantly the other werewolves corner him into a corner. No.
Yeah.
Then the Claude gets the knife back in front of the other werewolves and wants to slash his throat with it, I guess. And this is where Seraphine screams, breaks down a door, and throws an oil lamp with fire at them. No, it takes Andy, and then Seraphine and Andy manage to get out and jump into the river and get out into the street. Now, here comes a thing that is insanely fucking stupid. What Seraphine does, because Seraphine takes Andy home. Not to her house, by the way. And all of the other werewolves know where Seraphine lives.
Yeah.
Because for the people that don't know, Seraphine in this story is the original werewolf.
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Claude became a werewolf. He stole Seraphine's blood.
Yep.
And that's how he turned.
Mentioned, but it's one of those things you miss it completely if you're not paying attention. Yeah.
And it was in the scene with Seraphine and Andy. No, where Seraphine says, "Mom, but this is different. Claw stole my blood," and so Claw used Seraphine's blood to turn him into a werewolf. Nah, did he apparently create the other werewolves, and now all werewolves in Paris are like under his. He's the alpha or whatever.
Right.
However, the thing is, they have a short discussion. Andy asks Seraphine if she knew what Claude has planned. He gets a little bit aggravated and screams a little bit at her. She says, "Yeah, I knew, but I did not know basically how to stop it." No,
Right.
she actually manages to get Andy quiet by saying, "Here, there might be a cure."
Right.
No, okay. Then this is where we find out who the werewolf in the basement was. No,
Yep.
it's Seraphine's stepdad, the scientist that got attacked in the beginning. No, and this
At
is
the very
where
beginning of the
what hap-
movie. Yep.
Yeah, this is where what in the beginning of the movie what happens is explained. No, her stepdad was working on a cure. No, he was basically working on a drug that during full moon nights would keep her underneath her transformation cycle.
Right.
And her stepfather has studied this pretty thoroughly because they have like a chalkboard and they have like the different the how I say the cycle of the werewolf transformation and how a werewolf acts. He probably set this up by watching Seraphine closely and studying her, no? Because they have like this basement that is literally built to hold a werewolf, no?
Right.
And they've done this obviously for Seraphine, no?
Right.
So, and of course, in this time, her stepdad developed this drug. And in the night where they wanted to test it, this is where Seraphine explains to Andy, it had the reverse effect. It didn't stop the transformation; it triggered it.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Yeah. And
What's interesting is that these skinheads were able to deduct that from the writings that are there in
Yeah.
the guy's basement. Like
Yeah.
these guys didn't seem particularly smart to me, but they
No.
were able to figure out what
no,
it does.
only one of them has to figure it out. Claude later.
Yeah.
He's the smart one. Is at least smart enough to basically take out what that drug does.
Yeah.
No, basically.
Or the other thing that I was thinking is that one of them probably injected themselves with it just to see what it did, and it may have induced a, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
We
who knows?
don't know,
Yeah.
but they had enough time to figure out exactly what it does.
Yeah. However, yeah, but you also totally jumped in.
What do you mean?
You totally jumped the scene. You brought that in again way too early.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But dude, it's ADHD. My mind gets ahead of me. This is one of those things people that watching the podcast are going to have to get used to. We're going to jump all over the place. And it's because with ADHD, you cannot keep one thought from entering your head and then coming out of your mouth.
You're totally.
I'm not even going to edit this. I'm just going to chalk it up to ADHD and say, suck it up if you watch the podcast.
Yeah, however. Okay, good. But what's the scene after that? Andy and Seraphine start making out.
Yeah.
And this is the dumbest. First one that she took them to her house.
Yes.
Then they just start banging in her bedroom. It's like, dude, they know these other werewolves are probably going to be going to be after them. Huh?
Yeah.
And so this is kind of like, I mean, but however, it's just like, I don't know. This is one part. Not to say that the scene bothers me. It's just how they're acting so stupid. However,
well, okay. So I thought about it during the break, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we do know that this is during the full cycle of a full moon that's
No.
happening right now. It's not.
The cycle is already over, man. Well,
No
full moon is already over.
Okay. Well, in
The
that
night
case,
of
there is no
Andy's-
excuse.
The night of Andy's transformation was the final full moon.
Okay. In that case, it's stupid behavior. You're absolutely right. I was going to say if it was a full moon, then they have animalistic instincts and then they're not really thinking with their brains. You know what I mean?
No,
But-
I mean you could have said that the night before. I mean, I'm pretty sure that this is not because as far as I know, when you look at the night scenes, I might have to rewatch the movie, but I was pretty sure when you see the night scenes in the church, no, there's no full moon outside.
Well, yeah, it would have to be. You're absolutely right. It would have to be after the cycle of the full moon because they have to inject themselves to turn into werewolves. So,
Exactly.
it makes absolute sense. Yeah.
Also, something we can jump when we get to that scene when it comes later to the final scene. But while they're making out, the werewolves show up. Andy, as again, jumps through the same window he's already jumped through before. Seraphine kind of slows them down. Claude, like an asshole, grabs her on the neck and is like, don't, what's it called? What does it say? Don't break the rules again or something like that. What he says. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Don't defy
Yeah,
me
he
again.
warns
or
her not
something
to
like
break the rules
Yeah.
again. Yep.
then you have like this chasing through the city. Then now comes your favorite scene. No? Because Andy is hiding behind the car, and then you have the blonde zombie chick whistling at everybody. Here he is. No?
Yes. I
Yes.
love this. I love this not just because I'm a fan of the werewolf genre, but I'm a huge fan of the zombie genre, just like you are.
Yeah.
And so if you add pressure inside of a human skull where blood is no longer flowing, fluids are going to leak out, right? That's what happens with dead bodies. So the fact that they did this and they had the foresight to see that the joke would work here is brilliant. Because she whistles at traffic trying to get people's attention to see him, right? So he'll
Yeah.
get killed and blood spurts out of the side of her head. And she's like, what the fuck is this? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she tries it again to get the guy's attention to come see him. And when she does it, her eyeball gets big and plops out of her skull. And not only that, you get like an eye view from the eye that's hanging out of her eye, like
Yeah.
down to her tits. So like you see her cleavage because her eyeball's hanging right here. And she picks it up and looks around with it. Dude, not only is it funny, but the
Yeah.
practical effects are
very good.
perfect.
This is
Perfect.
just what you up to. I really would have wished they would have put the same effort into the werewolves as they did the zombies.
Yeah,
Because
I agree.
or
completely.
the zombie ghosts, I would say, because these zombie ghosts look so fucking good, and the werewolves, yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, but however, she's standing there.
Like I said, I think it's the studio, man. It's
Yeah.
a studio. The studio wanted to go with CGI, and I still to this day, and if there was a way to push for it, I would. But I want this film to be redone with modern special effects because it would be a masterpiece. Because it's a brilliant film.
Yeah, it is there. Yeah,
I mean,
But-
it really
but
is.
the-
It
but-
could benefit from that remake, you know?
yeah. You can't really call it brilliant film just because the most major aspect of it, the werewolves, are just so badly done that it does
Yeah.
kind of just. But however, because you said, like you said in the scene 4 that you don't know if she's just dumb or whatever because she doesn't realize that nobody besides Andy sees her, except that the guy chasing her mad are also werewolves.
Yeah, so they can see her. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, you're right.
And she's
I missed
whistling
that
at
part.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That is also a new piece of lore that they added, that every werewolf can see the dead victim of the person that you killed. That's something that we didn't get in the first movie because there weren't other werewolves.
yeah.
But it's
I mean-
cool. I mean, it's a cool piece of lore, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is cool. Andy manages to get away from them. He hits his speed in one car. The other guy gets out because he thought the car behind him hit him. So Andy hops in the car and just drives off. Nah?
Yeah.
Makes like the biggest car accident he causes that you can imagine.
This is like a 22 car pileup in the middle of Paris, dude.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's not something that Paris is not used to, because if you've driven through Paris, the traffic is awful and there's always somebody causing an accident because there's no lines on the road anywhere.
Yeah.
So people run into each other all the time, but this is probably by far the worst accident they've ever had. Just like 20 fucking cars just smacking into each other.
Yeah.
And it's all because of him.
Yeah. I mean,
Jerk off.
he gets out of the car, tries to walk off. That knows it happened. Of course, everybody knows it. And they start running after him. He manages to grab onto a bus and get away.
Yeah.
End of the scene.
Yeah.
Then it cuts back to Seraphine's house. Seraphine is now trying to reanimate her dad because obviously Claude and the other werewolf killed him. Huh?
Yeah.
Which
She's
is
fucking
totally
sad.
Yeah, it is. You really feel sorry for Seraphine at this point. I mean, throughout the entire movie, she's been through a lot of shit. I mean, also she killed her parents, whereas also, that gives it a little extra.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, there's no doubt in understanding why she would want to kill herself at the beginning of the movie. You know,
Yeah.
this is rough, dude. She's been through some shit.
Exactly. However, finally she knows she's dead. She can't do anything anymore. Andy hugs her and tries to give her a little bit of comfort. I also mixed something up because this is where it comes up with the drug. No?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. However, Seraphine explains this to Andy now. Yeah, he's dead, but he was also my last hope because he was the one making the cure. And Andy's like, what? Cure? No? And this is where Seraphine basically explains the thing that I had in the other scene to Andy. No? And Andy Andy says, okay, just so I get everything straight. With this drug, you can basically trigger the transformation at any time. No? This is where Seraphine realizes, oh shit, she goes to the other closet where she had this drug and knows that they've taken all of it with.
Yes.
Okay, this is how did these guys figure out what this drug does? I mean, Claude could have known that her dad was working on one. No? He could have put two and two together.
There's multiple things that could have happened to where they figured it out. I mean, I'm not giving that guy credit enough to be smart enough to know how it works, but it could have been something as simple as he wrote down, drug does not work, drug triggers transformation. And that could have been enough for them to figure it out. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it could also have been Seraphine written that note down because I do not think her dad managed to do that after he got his legs bit off by a werewolf.
Maybe not. Yeah.
But I know. Okay, however, I mean, we don't have to get that far into it, but
it doesn't matter. The movie's good without knowing that. So
yeah, I mean, somehow these boneheads figured it out. Okay, no, good. This is where Andy and Seraphine come. Okay, what are we going to do now? Because they're obviously going to kill a lot of people. And once they close the door back, the other werewolves put a flyer onto the door. So basically, Andy and Seraphine knows what they're going to do next.
Yeah.
No?
They did this on purpose. That flyer in there was to get them to show up. They wanted them to show up.
It was a trap. They wanted them to show up because the thing is, what they know is they have this drug now. They can trigger the transformation. No? Seraphine and Andy can't.
Right.
And if it's not full moon, they're helpless.
Right. They're just another human body to get ripped up.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. No? And there are multiple scenes. You know that this is no longer a full moon because at no point or ever do you see Andy or Seraphine having any stress, like they're going to turn or whatever. Like it's always Seraphine and Andy before. So however, this party is going to start. Seraphine and Andy come up with a plan. They want to crash the party because obviously at this point everybody can put two and two together. What's going to happen? No,
right.
Same thing as in the club. They're going to have a lot of people, Americans, in this church to having this party. They're going to close the fucking doors. Now they no longer have to wait for the full moon to do it. So
right.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically a banquet they've set up for themselves. You know?
Yeah, more or less.
That's all this is. It's a werewolf banquet. You know. My only question here is, why did they not think that the cops were not going to show up?
Because
did they think that they would overpower the cops if they did show up? You know,
this is a good question. This one comes back to what you just said. I do not think that these guys are that smart. No, because if they would be halfway intelligent, they would be covering up their tracks. Now it's either stupidity, arrogance, or a combination of those things.
I'd say arrogance. Definitely arrogance. They feel a sense of supremacy and that they're untouchable, and that's what this is all about.
I would say because other than that, they would be covering up their tracks. Yeah, and I think they would be at least trying to increase their numbers way farther than they are now. Yeah, what would make sense. But however, Andy sneaks past the bouncer, but the bouncer notices him. No, signals it to Claude, and Claude gives another signal back that, yep, I know he's here. No, and then of course the bouncer closes the doors and takes this bulldozer and puts it in front of the door. No,
right.
Okay, but shortly before that, the cops show. No,
yes,
and they want do you have a permit for this party? We're closing it down and whatever. No, and then the bouncer says, well, the boss has it. Just go.
Yeah, which is, I mean, this guy is not a dumb guy. That's exactly what I would have done if the cop showed up. I'd have been like, well, I mean, you should talk to the boss. Go inside,
Yes.
you know, because they're just going to become lambs for the slaughter just like everybody else. It's not even an issue,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, however, okay. Now, so basically, he pulls the bulldozer in front of the door, so they're locked, so nobody can get out. Huh?
Right.
Okay. Andy manages to get to the PA. No, pulls out the plug, hops onto the table, and then tries to crash the party. Says, "Hey, people, these what you just say skinheads, they're gonna all kill you. This is a slaughter. You all got to get out of here, or you're gonna be ripped to pieces." Something.
And
like
then,
that.
Mike, I have to bring this up. Every American in there acts like a typical American, which is ignore any sign of anything fishy that's going on in the name of having a good party. They're just like, get the fuck off the stage. Get out of here, you fucking buzzkill. Like, they ignore everything. And they're just like, get this guy out of here. He's killing, he's harshing our buzz. Right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
typical American behavior, because if you'd have done that in a room full of Germans or a room full of English people that have been like, oh, there might be some seriousness to what this guy is saying. Maybe we should leave. I don't know. It feels like something bad might happen.
However, yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the way Germans would act. I think there were a lot of people who were like, okay, they would at least look to the exit, and a lot of people would leave. No,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
you know,
Germans have been like, ich glaube, irgendwas Scheiße wird jetzt passieren. Vielleicht wollen wir irgendwo anders hingehen.
ja, das ist mir ein bisschen sus. Ich glaube, ich muss jetzt gehen.
Ich glaube, irgendwas ist los. Wir müssen jetzt weg hier.
However,
Yes, Americans, we're talking about you. You're dumb as fuck, man, with your behavior sometimes. Take a hint. Take a hint from the room, guys.
well, it might not be the smartest idea considering that I think the majority of our listeners are Americans.
No, it's okay. We're American
Yeah.
too. We can talk as
Yeah.
bad as we want about people.
Okay, well, but the cops eventually get him down off of the thing, no?
Yes.
That
Yes.
he's standing on, and arrest him, want to take him away. Then this is where the shit goes down. No?
Yeah.
Paul gets back up on the stage. They're all wearing these, what's it called?
Robes. It's actually really cool how they do it, because there's almost like this church choir music that's playing.
Yeah.
It's very, I don't know, it's like very angelic sounding, and you
Yeah.
don't see these guys' faces. They're all covered in robes, and they have a shot in their hand, right? Like a syringe.
Yeah, but you
And-
don't see that yet.
Not yet, yeah, but go ahead.
But
I don't want to get ahead of you.
Ron comes in this cloak and has this another monologue saying, "Great that you can all be here. I love Americans." And holds this big speech, and then okay, let's have the party started. No,
Yeah.
Then you have like the other 4 or 5 werewolves coming also up in cloaks. No, he pulls down the curtain, and here we have Chris again, that's hanged up on a cross.
Poor bastard. Poor bastard. How long has this guy been tied up, man?
Half of the movie.
Most of the movie, yeah. Either he was in a cell or tied to something.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Okay. However, this is where the thing you just showed, the werewolves have the syringe, no?
Yeah.
With this drug in it, they inject themselves and then start turning. No?
Yeah.
Of course, the cops have no idea what this is. 2 of them, the cops, put handcuffs on them and onto themselves. Bright idea at this point, but however, and then try to just basically take them away. No?
Yeah.
But of course, they fall to the floor because and start turning. Nah.
Yeah.
You see the cloaks rip open, the fur coming out and everything. Nah. And of course, the obvious noises they're making. And then everybody goes aside because, like, okay, because they can obviously, if something has happened, the cop can see that the hand that he had on his cuff is slowly turning into something else and is no longer human. So he takes his gun and pulls off the hood. Duh.
Yeah.
What happens? The werewolf instantly jumps at him. Duh. It cuts
Yeah.
back to the other cop, and there's like, I was like, oh, holy shit, holy shit! And this is like, okay, I understand that these guys are in shock, but you're pointing a gun at him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's standing right in front of you. You're pointing a gun at it.
Yeah.
Okay, but okay. Then the slaughter begins. No, the werewolves just go full on onto the all you can eat buffet. No,
Exactly what it is. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet for werewolves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we back up a second because
Yeah.
the transformation sequence? This is another point to bring up. You don't see any transformation here because it all happens under a cloak.
Yeah, yeah,
But I'm thankful that they did that because it's very effective how they did it.
yeah.
Like you don't see them transform, you just see the cloak moving and everything. And I remember watching the scene and thinking, "Oh, that's cool. That's cool." Like even for now, it looks cool, right?
It is a very good scene how they done this specifically.
Yeah.
I really liked it as well. Specifically, this scene going on is also generally pretty cool. You know, the werewolf massacre. No.
Yeah.
Well, of course, the werewolves start slaughtering the people. You see blood flying around. No. Of course, the other two cops that did not have a werewolf handcuffed to them start shooting at them. No. Misses multiple times. I think was it Andy or one of the however, I'm not sure if it was Andy or one of the other cops. If Andy at least picks up a gun from the other cops and starts shooting at them.
Yeah.
Now it's either
Yeah,
one
it's
of the
Andy.
other cops.
Yeah.
It's one of the other cops or Andy that shoots one of the werewolves, and that werewolf instantly goes down.
Mhm.
Yeah. This is also where, of course, just like in the original American Werewolf in London, he was killed with normal bullets. No.
Yep.
Also, this werewolf, but just like I think just we mentioned previously in the episode, no, it depends on where they're hit. Because even though
Yeah.
they have a healing factor, if you have any essential eternal organs that are hit, heart for example, they'll go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
However-
mean, at this point, they're just like humans. Wherever you hit them, if it's a internal organ that they need to be able to function, they're going to die.
Yeah.
Just like
Exactly.
humans do. Right?
Yeah. Good. However, good thing is that Seraphine, no, managed to climb up to the church, push down one of the gargoyle statues onto the bouncer, and drive away the tractor. And then she
Yep.
opens up the doors. No?
Yep.
During all of this massacre, Andy's cross fell down, and he started running towards the exit. Yeah.
That's the part I love because he's just strapped at his fucking thing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it falls, and you just watch this guy fall with the cross because he can't do anything. He's strapped to it. I'm like, man, has this guy not been through enough?
Yeah, but however,
Poor
the other
guy.
cops show the reinforcements for the cops show up, and they see everybody just panicking, running out of this
Yep.
church. Chris running around with the cross. Nah. Of course, the one cop, I guess, is a little bit superstitious and sees this as some kind of a
He's
sign.
like,
Yeah.
Holy Mary, Mother to God.
Exactly. However, the other cops come running in, and the majority of the werewolves at this point got shot, except for I think there were 2 or 3 others beside Claude. No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's like 3 other werewolves besides him, if I
Yeah,
remember correctly.
I mean, no, there in 2. I think 2 or 3 of the werewolves at this point get shot by either by Andy or the cops. No? I think Claude and 2 other werewolves managed to get into the basement and escape, and the other cop is now telling the others, "But oh, they're big hairy beasts, and they're slaughtering everybody." And I shot one of them. No, then he pulled off where he covered up the one dead werewolf in, and it's just a normal guy and has these syringes with him. No, and then the commissioner was looking like, "I knew it. They were taking drugs."
Drugs! Fucking drugs! It's drugs, just like I told you. This chick is all about the war on drugs, dude. That's the only
Yeah.
thing she thinks about. But I love that about her character. They keep bringing it up, how obsessed she is with drugs
yeah.
on the street, you know?
I mean, Andy and Seraphine then go to chase down the stairways Claude until they're stopped by the jock.
Yeah.
No? And he's all of a sudden starting to evaporate into thin air. He's like, "Oh, Andy, you killed him," because the werewolf Andy shot. However, Jock fastly says his goodbyes, and Andy and Seraphine go chase after Claude. No?
Yeah.
They get separated. I'm not entirely sure how or why. No? But
How exactly does that happen?
I think no. First Seraphine chases down. No,
Yeah.
and then the cops notice Andy, and the commissioner's like, "Go get him." No,
and the one cop pulls out a gun, shoots at him. She slaps him over the head. I said, "Go get him! Don't
Go
shoot
get him,
him!"
not shoot him. Yeah, I remember that.
I
Yep,
think, I
yep.
think I think that's why, because she went down earlier. However, now you have like the scene. I think there's one or two with Seraphine and Andy chasing down no Claude and the other werewolf that are down.
Yeah.
there. No?
Yeah.
Okay. Both of them actually have guns, so good idea at this point. Andy takes a torch and follows them down. No. You see the first scene when Seraphine is running through these tunnels. No, comes around the corner and sees one of the werewolves killing somebody.
Yep.
This is like, I would say, the only scene where I actually thought one of the werewolves was kind of cool. How he was leaning over the body. Of course, this is the scene where the werewolf instantly noticed Seraphine. You see, like, only the teeth of the werewolf drop blood, and then the
Yeah.
werewolf looking at her and slowly starting to walk towards her. He wants to shoot the werewolf, but the no bullets left. The clip is done. She says,
Yeah.
"Shit." She throws the clip away and then runs. He sees this one guy, one of the other dead werewolves that were killed, and with his syringes. Now, of course, just takes the syringe and injects herself with it. Best thing she can do at this point.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
perfect.
I mean, she's a werewolf anyway. It's the only way she
Yeah.
can fight back. This is just like where she injects herself, then she opens her eyes, and you see like the cat eyes. Still something that bothers me, that these werewolves look like cats. But however,
It's bothered me the whole movie, and the fact that they did that in this scene bothers me even more. Because the eyes do look like cat eyes.
I
I
mean,
have no idea who was writing this, but
yeah,
whatever.
it's weird. However, then it cuts back to the view of the werewolf, where the werewolf is chasing down Seraphine, nah? And then Seraphine jumps the other werewolf because she's now turning, nah? And you have this fight between these two werewolves, but just sucks that the CGI is so bad, because this could have been such a cool fucking scene, dude.
That's the
No.
thing. This was supposed to be an epic scene of a werewolf fight,
Yeah.
and it was totally ruined by this. I mean, I'm sorry, even for the time. When did this movie come out? 1997, 1998?
Something around that, 97 or 98, around that. No?
Yeah, dude, it didn't look good for that time either.
Yeah.
I don't know why the studio greenlit this shit. Like, just like do a close-up fight of two people in a suit. It would have worked just as well, you know?
They're probably even better. No, but however,
Whatever.
one of the werewolves kills the other werewolf, no? And then just looks up and you see the werewolf being shot. No? It then cuts to Andy walking up, just shooting the other werewolf. No? What he doesn't know yet is it's Seraphine he's shooting at. But how can he know that?
Yeah.
Okay. The Seraphine crawls around the corner and then turns back. No? There's something you haven't noticed, specifically noticed with Claude. This is a funny thing. Because she turns back, she's been shot multiple times, but she doesn't die.
Right.
No, because it's like, I always thought this, because I had this discussion with my friends. Yeah, but she's a werewolf and blah, blah, blah. You also always have to take into consideration this is not a full moon night, and the entire transformation was triggered by a drug.
Right.
So, I mean, I would guess the transformation is not going to hold very long, what we're going to see later, due to the fact that werewolves have this fast metabolism.
Yeah. They have a fast metabolism, and if the drug wears off, then they're going to turn back into a normal human being.
Yeah, exactly. This is
Makes
basically
complete
what happened.
sense.
And I would just say, specifically because he got injured, that caused the drug to wear off faster. Because, of course, her werewolf healing system, whatever, healed her, and that burned off the rest of the drug.
Right.
However, Andy notices this, covers Seraphine up, and at this point, she pulls out a knife and says, "No, kill me. Kill me and eat my heart. That way we will both be free."
Yeah.
No?
Because she still thinks she's the werewolf that turned him. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. And he's like, this. He's sitting there, of course, no, I can't fucking do this. Holds up a knife, but still is hesitating for obvious reasons. Until the cop starts shooting them. No? He just throws the knife away and then runs after Claude. No?
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's only Andy and Claude left. No? Okay. I think one scene, Andy is now following Claude through the tunnel and looking for him. Claude jumps at Andy, but I think it's either the torch or the gun. I'm not sure. However, he doesn't get Andy. Andy falls through the shaft down onto the subway rails. You instantly see the werewolf, Claude, also just jump back in. He's coming down after him. He jumps back. The werewolf comes out of the shaft. Right before the werewolf can jump at him, he gets hit by a fucking subway.
Now, I have to agree with whoever argued with you before. This should have been enough to kill him. This should have been enough to kill him. But, okay. Plot armor, fine. I'm cool with it. It doesn't take me out of it.
The thing is, it's a werewolf. He has the super healing thing. If no internal organs were... but still, yes, it is plot armor at this point, because what has been established of the lore, this should have killed him.
Yes.
However, you see the train driver looking to see what he hit. Where the werewolf just comes smashing through the window and instantly killing him. The people in the train can hear all the noise going on, like, what the fuck is happening? Then the werewolf rips open the doors, and everybody panics and starts running out.
Yes.
And they even run over this poor, chubby lady. And then, of course, she's the first one the werewolf gets.
Yeah, dude. You gotta feel sorry for this chick, man. I mean, she really wasn't gonna get away that quick anyway, you know?
Yeah, however, the werewolf just takes her and just bites her in the fucking head.
Yeah.
At one point, the werewolf stops, and then starts screaming. And people are like, "What's the?" But they also stop because the werewolf stops, and then you can see him caught basically turned back into a human.
Yes.
This is also what kind of confirms that they won't stay werewolves for that long.
Yeah. Yeah. This is also the worst CGI in the film, Mike.
Yeah.
Do you agree? This is by far the worst, because the werewolf is completely lit up by all the lights around it, and there was no way to make this look cool in 1997. And I don't know, man. I just wish they had done this outside of the subway car in the dark. It would have looked a little bit better. But this is like full light and a really bad CGI.
If they would, it would have looked cool if it was the werewolf design from the first.
That that too. If it didn't look like a werecat, it would have been better. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
However, Claude wakes up and instantly just wants to get his neck fixed. Good. However, Andy comes smashing through the train, and a fight scene begins between Claude and Andy. Andy first kicks the syringe out of his hand, and Claude tries to get the syringe. Andy stops him, and in the hustle, they fall onto the floor. You can see already by Andy's face that the syringe been right into him. You can just see Andy pulling out the syringe and throwing it away. Claude instantly gets up and runs, and Andy turns around, starts turning into a werewolf, runs after Claude, jumps at him, grabs him, and holds him down on the floor while he's turning into a werewolf. Instantly, all the people start panicking behind again. Yeah, of course, see where Andy as a werewolf eating Claude's heart. What you're going to assume at this point that Andy got cured from the first, but it's also like, who knows it? It's actually true. Because they found after that, like, Seraphine is being taken in the ambulance, the hospital had this hallucination about Andy, where the one, I think, whatever guy, Sanitita, says, like, well, I can be Andy. Cringe scene, like, you can see a little bit cringe, by the way. However, after that, it cuts back to New York City. Yeah. Well, Andy and Seraphine now have got married or on their honeymoon and want to do the same stupid shit they did with the Eiffel Tower. Now with the Statue of Liberty.
Yes. Bad American behavior all the way around, dude. Like, we're gonna jump from the Statue of Liberty for our wedding. This is totally American.
Yeah. I mean, however, of
Ridiculous.
course, it's the same thing as with the Eiffel Tower. A ring falls off and they all jump after it. Andy and Seraphine, believing they're safe, jump after the ring. But Chris also doesn't manage to get the one rope in time. But however, Andy already put the ring on Seraphine's ring. They kiss. Now Andy's holding her. Yeah. Basically, that's the end of the movie. But one thing I wanted to bring up, Matt, was
Yeah.
there was an alternative ending to this movie that was cut out.
Hang on a second, Mike. The rain is so fucking hard that I can barely hear you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the phone inside and finish it up there because I can barely hear you. Hang on a second. So just for the viewer, I want to show you something real quick right here at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
This is the weather in Scotland right now. Glad we drove here. Anyway, hang on. Let me go inside. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. One thing I wanted to bring up was the alternative ending to American Werewolf in Paris. This
Okay.
was actually where you see Andy pull up to a hospital with flowers. This is also already quite a time later because several full moons later. Now, Seraphine is in the hospital, just had a kid, had a baby.
Right.
And Andy first jokes around like, "Oh my God, what does it look like?" But first, it looks like a normal baby. No, until the baby opens up its eyes and it has.
Holy shit! Why did they not do that ending for the original, man? That's crazy.
I have no idea. I mean, this, in my opinion, was a better ending, and it showed that at least Seraphine still is a werewolf. Andy also might still be a werewolf because you don't know if the hard thing actually works. No? But of course, them having a werewolf baby is the alternative. And yeah, that's so far it. That was American Werewolf in Paris.
Dude, fucking awesome movie. I love this movie.
Yeah, me too.
I just
like it
really,
too.
really wish that they had the foresight to realize that the CGI at this time didn't really fit the bill, you know?
Yeah. Who knows what they were thinking? It was straight up to begin with. I love this movie. And as a teenager, it was one of my favorite werewolf movies, but just what fucking ruins it is how bad the effects are, specifically the werewolf.
Yeah.
You could complain about it for hours, how bad the werewolf was in this movie. Okay.
Oh, shit. I think the weather's so bad, Mike, I pretty much completely lost you. Holy
No,
crap,
you're
this is
still
a
there. I can
crazy
hear you,
storm,
man.
dude. Hang on.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we may have to end this episode on a cliffhanger. Does Matt make it out of here okay? Because this storm is insane. Anyway, American Werewolf in Paris. This is one of my favorite werewolf movies.
Yeah.
Let's get it out and say, dude, if there's a company that wants to come back and maybe redo this movie with some new CGI, I'd be all for it.
Me
Because
too. Yeah.
awesome. And I guess because the connection is dying, this might be the first episode this has happened. I'm going to go ahead and say, catch us in the next episode.
Yep.
And until then, I'm Matt.
I'm Mike.
We'll see you guys next time.
See you guys next time. Bye.
The blackest eyes, the darkest eyes. Simply